Hello and welcome to Franklin Regional High School, home of the Panthers, for the conference opener. It's 5A Big East action between the Gators and the Panthers. Should be a good one here tonight. Will the Gators offense be able to break loose, or will we have another low-scoring affair between Franklin Regional and Gateway? Thank you for joining us. Adam Gusky out tonight, so Vince Russo on the play-by-play call. Aside to my right, Spencer Witt. Spencer, good to see you again. Last time we saw each other was here in Murrysville, a 40-9 win for the Gators last season. What's it going to take for them to have a similar result here tonight?
Well, I think the big thing, we're looking for deja vu, both of us on the call, and I think that's what Gateway is going to want again this evening as well. 40 points put up against the Panthers last year, and for a team that I think offensively has had their bit of miscues when it comes to Gateway, I think something like that along these lines would be a very good start to conference play for Gateway.
Gators were the odds-on favorites in 5A going into this season. They bring a lot of talent back as we look at the Big East Conference standings. The Gators and the Hempfield Spartans stand alone at 3-0, but as you'll see there, that left column, no teams have played any conference matchups thus far. We have Plum and Norwin taking each other on tonight, so we'll see at least 4 teams create some separation, but Penn Trafford and Hempfield still playing out of conference tonight. Take a look at the Trib High School Sports Network 5A rankings. The Gators sitting atop, one of the 2 unblemished teams in the top 5 there. Penn Hills, who has looked good here early in the season despite a close loss early on their campaign. Penn Trafford, who will battle in the Big East with the Gators. And then Upper St. Clair, 3-0 and looking dominant so far over in the Allegheny Conference. And Pine Richland still in the top 5, though the Rams, under first-year head coach John Ladon, who left Penn Hills, certainly a different-looking Rams team. They lost a lot of talent from a team that went undefeated and won the state 2 years ago and was still formidable in the postseason just last year. On the opposite side of the ball, the Gators have been dominant defensively. Spencer, tell us a little bit more about what this Gators defense has been able to do so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's gone through Dallas Harper. 2 pick-sixes already this season. He's an elite playmaker, as you've mentioned in prior broadcasts, and I think that that's something that they're going to look for, is plays like that to really step up and give the offense a little bit more of a break. If you frustrate Franklin Regional and they're constantly on the offensive side, it's going to be annoying for a team like Franklin Regional, who defensively is going to have a lot of issues against Gateway.
Gators, as we said, 3-0, but certainly their toughest test last week as they survived a 20-17 scare, a come-from-behind victory against North Hills. They faced deficits of 7 points twice, both 10-3 and then 17-10. They tied the game up with a long drive, only to surrender a kick return touchdown to the Indians. And then from there, Dallas Harper with his second pick-six of the season. And then with just 30 seconds left, Cole Plaskin drilled a 19-yard field goal and 4 incompletions on the defensive side of the ball. The Gators hung on. They took possession at their own 33-yard line, 5 minutes left in a tied game, and drove down into Indians territory, faced a 4th and 7, and after a timeout, it was Inez Jordan with an end around that helped keep that drive alive. And Spencer, if nothing else, this team has played some close games early. They built some resiliency. What does that do for a senior-laden team as they have playoff aspirations?
I think it really shows the ability to move forward when it comes to having that experience, having that ability. You know, when you get to playoffs, it's all close. There's not really that many blowouts you see in playoff football, and you've seen it last year for Gateway especially. So when you have those close games and you're able to get that edge in the regular season, you take that forward going into conference play and going into playoffs where anything really can go.
Gators will hope to build on that momentum. The Panthers just came out onto the field. We've got just over 5 minutes until kickoff. And if you've joined us or been with us through most of this season, the path thus far for the Gators started with a 21-6 win over Mount Lebanon, the returning 6A state champs, even though they only had 5 returning starters. Still a statement victory for the Gators in that inaugural game of the season. They then blanked Woodland Hills at home, the second of their 2-game homestand to start the season. That game was 7-0 late into the second half before a couple touchdowns, including a pick-6 by number 22 Chris Livesey. helped lift the lid off of that one and kept the Gators unblemished, and as we said last week, surviving the upset-minded North Hills Indians. And certainly the Franklin Regional Panthers will look to do that tonight as well. They've got some talent on the offensive side of the ball, do the Panthers, and so they dropped an early season contest to rival Latrobe, 36-33, and then went down to Connellsville and really put it on the Falcons, 40-0 in last week's contest. Spencer, tell us a little bit more about what Franklin Regional brings to the table offensively.
Well, it's going to be through both their top running back and quarterback. It's Sarnik and Bazuska. Bazuska ran for over 100 yards, and Sarnik passing the ball very well, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception only. Also 185 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground, so he's an elusive quarterback. Gateway, they have to play him almost with a quarterback spy the whole time, because they're not going to expect knowing when he's going to throw or when he's going to pass.
We saw that last week. The Gators, who during the first 2 weeks of the season against quarterbacks who weren't quite as mobile, really racking up the sack numbers. But then last week against North Hills, a young mobile quarterback was able to elude, and the Gators still did a good job bottling things up, allowed just 17 points while their defense really carried the water for an offense that struggled to find its footing early in the season, but still not a whole lot of presence in the backfield, not a whole lot of pressure or sacks on the quarterback. So there was a little more time to make some plays for North Hills. Franklin Regional will certainly have watched that film and try to replicate that going into tonight's contest. Both teams are on the field. Captains going out for the coin toss. For Franklin Regional, Roman Sarnik, the quarterback. Zach Bazuska, number 9, number 57, Owen Sinclair, and number 62, Max Levin are your captains for the Panthers. On the other side, it will be Jaquan Reynolds, number 2. He is one of your captains. Number 3 for the Gators, Malachi Moore. Number 55, Matthew Brooks. And number 10, Ricari L. So those are your captains. We'll see who wins the coin toss and who gets to touch the ball first here. Some good matchups throughout the WPIAL tonight. Penn Trafford and Bell Vernon playing tonight. Seneca Valley and Pine Richland, we're seeing some scores flash along the scoreboard. We'll listen to see how the coin toss goes here.
Tickets for Paul Met signed Chicago Bears jersey. Thank you very much in advance.
So it appears that Franklin Regional will receive to start this game, as we're just a few minutes away from kickoff here. As we said, Panthers 1-1, Gators 3-0. They've got the target on their back, a phrase that we've heard a lot lately, a team that's being hunted. So we'll see if they're able to ward off the Panthers, who are hunting the upset against the Gators. I'll trot the kickoff team out here. We might even get started a few seconds early here, as it's another beautiful night here in Western Pennsylvania. Appreciate everyone joining us here, whether it be on YouTube or through the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Should be a dandy here tonight. 74 degrees, 68% humidity, and wind just at 2 miles an hour. The sun should set in about precisely a half hour. So we got a little sunshine left here to start some of these games.
High school football weather, I mean, just nothing like it, especially at the beginning of the season. Beautiful weather, and I think we're gonna have a good game. I think, Gateway kicking off here shortly, Franklin Regional receiving. I gotta be honest, I don't think this is gonna be a 40-9 game. I'm gonna throw that out there now. I don't think this is gonna be the same thing we've seen last year. I know Franklin Regional really struggled last year, but it's the same guys who played, Bazuska, and we saw Sarnik again last year as well. I think they're gonna play a lot better, but I also think Gateway, they have a statement here going into conference play. They're the team that everybody wants to beat. They have to prove that against a conference opponent.
Gators looking to get back atop the Big East after surrendering the title last season to Penn Trafford, a close 15-10 loss. Penn Trafford went, as we know, all the way out to Hershey, won the state title after knocking off the undefeated Moon Tigers at Heinz Field. Just a few seconds away here. They're going to let that clock run all the way down here. We'll start precisely at 7 o'clock. Cole Plaskin back and ready to start this one off. Gators going to be running right to left on your screen with the white jerseys, black numerals, black pants, black helmets with gold Gators on the side. And for Franklin Regional, navy blue tops and bottoms, gold numerals, gold stripes, and solid gold helmets. And Plaskin gets us off and running here on YouTube and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Kickoff is bobbled there, and now going right to left. A little bit of running room, and now with just one more man to beat, Chris Livesey going to dive and make the tackle past midfield. But Franklin Regional with great field position to start, as taking that one quite a bit of ways was number 16, Aiden Hudock. And we talked about him in pregame. Right on cue, there's Hudock.
Hudock staying with it, staying calm after bobbling the reception from the kickoff. Saw the opening on the left side, saw Gateway chip in a little bit on their kickoff coverage, went out to his left-hand side, got some good blocks as well, and good start for Franklin Regional. This is exactly what you want, at least off the kickoff for the Panthers.
Good start indeed, got the crowd into it. We've got what looks like almost a capacity crowd here, not a whole lot of seats available. Even a good visiting crowd across the way for the Gators here. And so the Panthers will go to work. Their first play from scrimmage will be in opponent's territory here, and the Gators on their heels to start. Shotgun snap, and it's a run to the left. Sarnik got past the line of scrimmage, but he won't get much more. He's met there with force. Coming out of the pile there, Louis Douglas laying the boom. This will be 2nd and 9.
And it's a crash left on the option run for Franklin Regional, and you see just everybody staying home, staying in the right spot. They knew exactly where to go for that one. Nothing that the quarterback could do for Franklin Regional, but he might have not even gained any yards. 1 yard exactly, to be specific on that one.
So it will be 2nd and 9. Sarnik with Bazuska rather in the backfield with them. They'll roll out to pass. This one on a rope. They'll get that out wide. Ball at about the 37-yard line. They got to get to the 35, so it'll be 3rd and short on the moderate pickup there by Heath Sliva, the sophomore wide receiver.
It's a good curl route for Sliva, just going a couple yards down. Gateway playing pretty much at the pylon, or at the first down chain, so Sliva comes back a little bit. And on that rolling out from the quarterback, Roman Sarnik, and he had pressure on him. He saw Bazuska just get enough of a block to keep Gateway off his tail, and he was able to throw that one over to Sliva.
So a nice ball there. It'll be marked at the 36, so now it's officially just a 3rd and 1. See what they go with here, a little trickeration. It's going to be Hudock. He's going to take it himself, and he'll get dragged down from behind. They'll blow it dead. Blowing that one up, Demetrius Harper read it all day. He was such a force to be reckoned with off the edge last week against North Hills. Picks up right where he left off to force 4th down for the Panthers.
Great play from Harper, staying in his spot, watching the wide receiver go into motion. And you saw the quarterback slide over. You saw everybody on the left side. That play designed to give a little bit more blocking, but there's no one on Harper at all. Was untouched. And a bad play offensively for Franklin Regional.
Offense will stay out. We'll see if they'll go with the pooch punt here, or if they'll run an offensive play from the 42-yard line, and they will punt it. This one will sail and take a bounce into the end zone, so that'll be a touchback. Gators will take over at their own 20-yard line. So the Panthers can't make anything happen after the long kick return by Hudock got him into enemy territory. They threatened close to that 1st down marker, but Demetrius Harper closing the door for the Gators.
And we talked earlier about the defense for Gateway and how they really have been stepping up these past couple games, and we've seen it right there. Only 9 yards all-purpose from Franklin Regional on that drive, and it was the kickoff that really, the only difference I think is the reason why Franklin Regional was on their own side, or the Gateway side of the field, was a special team. So Gateway's offense coming out for the first time, and look to see if they can really set the tempo themselves compared to Franklin Regional, who was unfortunately for them not able to.
Brad Burch, 52 of 88 on the season, 496 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. See if he can have a big game. They'll start with Livesey in the backfield. He'll hand this one off to Reynolds. Reynolds able to fight forward for a few.
Looks like Livesey's staying out there, getting the call.
I'm not sure if there's information we've not been made aware of yet, but Brad Burch currently not on the field for the Gators. Chris Livesey is the backup quarterback, it looks like, and so as we see, Burch is over there on the sidelines. I could see him just left of the second down marker. He has his helmet on. So perhaps the Gators just trying to throw a new look at the Panthers there who jump off sides, and so that'll give the Gators a couple more yards after a very short gain on first down. So now it's second and about 5, ball at the 25-yard line, just past it. They've got to get to the 30, so short 5 or a long 4, however you want to look at it. Second medium here. And again, it's Livesey. They'll run the option, a nice pitch. Livesey gets lit up, but here goes Inez Jordan. Jordan with one man to beat at the 40, to the 30. Can anyone catch him? And he's dragged down inside the 15-yard line. Tackle made there by number 3, Heath Sliva, and that one saved a touchdown, but it looks like Livesey not getting up after getting popped right before letting that one go. Spencer, he made the right decision ultimately there on the option, but man, did he pay the price. Take a look.
Yeah, he played that perfectly as a quarterback. You hold on as long as you can, make sure the defenders commit to you, and then you drop it off. And unfortunately, he really made sure that the defenders committed to him, but a beautiful run from number 7, Inez Jordan, and a good shoestring tackle from Franklin Regional to force Jordan down and to stop the touchdown. But again, Slivy is down on the field on the 20-yard line, and you know, we talked about how we didn't know exactly what the offense was doing in terms of who was quarterbacking. If this is what they wanted to continue with, not a good sign. Really blowing up the plans right now if Slivy can't continue.
So a 63-yard run there by Jordan, and Livesey not only a big loss here on offense as he's had a few grabs to start the season, but also has been the primary punt returner and done quite a good job for the Gators. And Burch did take back to the field there before that was blown dead as they tended to Livesey, and so last season's all-conference pick at quarterback, Brad Burch, just 3 touchdowns in the first 3 games. The touch just and the timing and the chemistry just haven't been there thus far for this Gators offense. He's got a short field to work with here as it's 1st and 10. Burch's first play is from the 12-yard line. They'll hand it off to Jaquan Reynolds. He's got a full head of steam, makes one man miss dives towards that first down marker. He's inside the 10, inside the 5. We'll see where they mark him down and if they'll give him the first down. Looks like he'll be a little short. They'll mark him out at the 5. He's got to get to the 3-yard line. That's the yard to gain, so it'll be 2nd and 2 inside the 5.
Had some good blocking on the outside there. 54 for Gateway. Lewis Douglas, good block on the right side. Gateway rolling with the run play. They keep running it. They have yet to throw the ball, and really no need to if Franklin Regional is giving them this offense.
Reynolds had a coming out party, his first big game of the season. 20 carries, 115 yards, and a score last game. Also had 8 receptions for 37 yards. We'll see if they go with him again. They'll hand it off to Harper. Harper's bottled up, and he's sent back. Nothing going there. That play blown up. And it's the quarterback on one end of the field and a linebacker on the other. Roman Sarnik was talking with Bill Beckner of the Trib before the game. Apparently Sarnik, the leading tackler for the Panthers, and he shows you there why. Stays committed, doesn't cheat inside, and is able to blow that play up.
Yeah, that's a really good play from Sarnik, sheathing his block, and getting away from the blocker, staying on the outside, not letting Reynolds get the edge. And he stopped Reynolds in his tracks, and it's the first loss we've seen for Gateway so far in this game, and it's what Franklin Regional really needed, but we'll have a timeout from the Gators.
They'll talk this one over with 3rd and long, 13 to be exact, from the 16-yard line. They've got a kicker they can trust in Cole Plaskin, who was 2 for 2 last week and made the difference with a 19-yard field goal with just 30 seconds left to lift the Gators to a big win. But a little pushback here from the Panthers, who have a great crowd on hand here tonight. And certainly the body language shows a lot of confidence for a team that's coming off a 40-0 victory. Gators on the other side still trying to have one of those complete games offensively where they can really walk away feeling good about things. So just 4 minutes into this one, we've already seen a ton of action here. A long kick return, a A long option resulted in a quarterback getting hurt. And the Gators now have to try and pick up 13 or get this into the end zone with 16. If not, they'll have to settle for either a fourth down conversion opportunity or a field goal chance. Burch in the gun. He'll fake the handoff. Play action. He'll go to the end zone, and it is caught for the score. Diving in, Leonard Sherrod, his first touchdown of the season, and the Gators are on the board. Sherrod came out of the end zone, grabbed that one at about the 2-yard line, split the defenders, dove in for 6.
The first pass of the evening was a good one from Burch, and Sherrod was able to get away from his man. As you take another look at this pass from Burch, you see, like you said, Sherrod cutting back and getting to the first down marker, and then diving in for the end zone for the touchdown.
Sherrod, the senior receiver, with his first score of the season. Plaskin, the PAT, up and good. So the Gators first on the board with 8:05 left here in the first quarter. They'll lead 7-0. See if Hudock can recapture the magic here with a long kick return. Gators allowed a touchdown just last week to North Hills, and then another 50-plus yard return. See if they can bottle things up here on the kick team and force Franklin Regional to go the length of the field.
It's a good start, though, offensively, I think, for Gateway. Is able to move the ball down the field really without much issue, and it was the quarterback for Franklin Regional. It was really the only pressure. And Roman Sarnik, that once they finally were able to stop that run, Burch was able to get the ball off in the passing play, score a touchdown. But again, Franklin Regional defensively had a lot of holes there that they need to fix if they want to keep in this game.
That's something we haven't seen the Gators be able to execute a lot of so far this season. The play action pass, but the run there effectively setting up that play action, keeping the defense honest and freeing up Sherrod for the touchdown. Plaskin will send this one deep. Hudock will take it just inside his own 10-yard line with a full head of steam. He's up over the 30. He's up towards the 40. He won't quite make it as he stood up there, still going. They can't bring him down. He got hit a couple times there and just kept rolling with the punches. He'll get stopped just shy of the 40-yard line. But once again, Franklin Regional, decent field position to start, albeit on their own side of the field.
Yeah, it's another good run from Hudock, seeing the hole in the middle and able to take it. And I think he could have broken it a little more, but he had two guys on his left side that were on his own team. They were blocking one player and kind of just knocked into each other. And that was the reason Hudock was held up a little bit until the rest of the teammates for Gateway were able to corral him down with it. Not even corral him down, really, as you take a look at it.
Yeah, no hesitation from Hudock either. Just got it and started going north-south immediately. Really like to see that from a return specialist standpoint. Boy, is he shifty.
He got some good blocking, too, on that right side that opened up the left side.
They'll go to Bazuska here on first down to start this drive, and once again, met with force at the line of scrimmage. Those interior linemen. Without Baron Fowler tonight, he left the game against North Hills with a lower body injury last week, did not return. So Robert Johnson in there on the defensive line, along with Louis Douglas, Matthew Brooks. Got your edge rushers of Ricariel and Demetrius Harper, and the Gators look like they're going to try and time this one, but they're off. And offsides will be the call. That'll give 5 yards to the Panthers and set up 2nd and 4 now. Hate to see those procedural penalties in the 4th game of the season here. Gators still a little trouble with the penalties. See if they can atone here. They'll hand it off again. Lou Douglas in the backfield. Harper as well. That one going nowhere.
We're seeing white shirts in the backfield on pretty much every run play that Franklin Regional has had now. Blocking up front has been lackluster at best, unfortunately, for the Panthers. And I think they got to spread it out a little bit more there. Everybody crowding the box for Gateway, because they know that it's going to be a run. They know it's going to be. It looks like it's been a run to the left for the past 4 plays, I think, with Bazuska, and you got to open it up to the right side a little bit. Other than that curl route we saw, which worked for Franklin Regional, that's the only offense we've really seen. Unfortunately for Bazuska, who I know they want to give it to him, but it's just not working right now.
False start there for the Panthers, and this will most certainly, Spencer, turn this into a passing situation. And Sarnik, as you said, completed his first pass attempt, and they've played it pretty conservative since then. So see if they go back to the air here on what's now going to be 3rd and 11. Ball back to the 36-yard line. They'll get the play in from the sidelines. And now they'll set. Man in motion is Hudock, and we have a flag once again. That'll be another procedural penalty against Franklin Regional. That's another 5 yards back. That'll put them at the 31-yard line, much to the chagrin of the faithful here wearing navy blue and gold. And now it's 3rd and 16.
And it went from a potential, a couple yards for a first down to now you're just trying to get as close to the sticks as you can.
Get the snap off. No procedural penalties this time. Now the quarterback's going to run. Has a couple blockers. And a good job there, shedding the blocker there, Malachi Moore. And that's still going to be enough for a first down. Thought that Moore might have been able to stop him before he got to the sticks, but if you're the Gators, you've got to feel sick after giving up 17 there on 3rd and 16. That'll keep the drive alive for Franklin Regional.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Gateway, that play was really dead in the water. Nothing doing downfield, so Sarnik just takes it himself, but he finds the hole, finds the opening, and just gets himself that first down. And I think it was because of that moving forward, like you said, just getting himself past that first down marker.
Sarnik with 185 yards on the ground and 4 rushing touchdowns. He certainly can make things happen with his feet, and he's going to try to do it here again. They'll have a nice hole over the right side. That'll be a gain of about 6 or 7 there on first down. And now another injury for the Gators. Getting up slowly is Remy Bose. And if you're the Gators, that is one guy you do not want to have missing time. Bose, an all-conference selection at linebacker last season with almost 80 tackles. He's writhing in pain. And that's a big loss for the Gators on both sides of the ball. Plays tight end as well. And try to see what happened to him on that play, and hopefully just got the air knocked out of him. See what may have occurred there on that first down run that netted 7 yards for Sarnik out of the backfield.
Yeah, I saw Bose in the area of Sarnik, and he might have got knocked over, and I don't know if he fell awkwardly on his wrist or something like that. He looked like he was either holding on to it or had it against his hip, in the sense of having issues with that. I hope he's all right, like you said. Bose, the junior, listed as a linebacker and a tight end for Gateway.
Seeing some of the scores come up. Norwin's up 7-0 on Plum in the other Big East action. Bell Vernon up 7-0 on Penn Trafford. Seneca Valley up 7-0 on Pine Richland. No score between Penn Hills and Moon as Bose is up, but still in a good bit of pain. Hempfield also leading early against Shaler. Some various 5A scores of note as you see the Gators faithful holding their breath, hoping that if nothing else, Remy Bose not out for an extended period of time, even if he can't play again tonight. Gators defense already without the services of Baron Fowler.
Good news, saw Bose kind of hustle a little bit off the field, just is a good sign for Gateway and a good sign for his health.
So 2nd and short after the effective first down run, and it's Bazuska. He's able to fight. That second effort's going to get him enough for a first down. And see the Panthers starting to control things at the line of scrimmage a little bit, starting to play a little bully ball in the trenches. The Gators had that initial push, Spencer, but now it seems like the Panthers are starting to push their will a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about how Bazuska and Sarnik really are good on the ground, and that's the 2 main offensive players that they have for Franklin Regional. I think once you start controlling that, it opens up the offense a little bit on the outsides for a potential wide receiver pass.
Sarnik pulled it out there on the option, has a good bit of room, and he's able to bowl over the defender there, gets himself first down yardage once again. It's a nice effort there. Sarnik just lowering his shoulders and getting to the sticks there. So first down results in another one. All of a sudden, the Panthers driving. They're as far as they've been into Gators territory, ball squarely at the 30-yard line.
That's a power run there from Sarnik, really. Like you said, bulldozering a guy down for Gateway. And again, they now really control this offense and control the tempo. Franklin Regional does.
They'll go to the air here on 1st and 10. Sarnik with a bit of time. Now has to get flushed out of the pocket. He gets hit hard and brought down. That's Harper laying the boom. In pursuit there was Matthew Brooks as well. And so a shorter gain there, but still 4 yards on first down for Franklin Regional.
Thought Sarnik was going to go to his left a little earlier than that. He kept looking downfield for a while as he take another look. Still looking, had a lot of room on the left-hand side, had one blocker, but you see Harper gets around that offensive tackle there, and that's the difference between Sarnik getting a lot more yards and Harper really closing in on the quarterback.
So 2nd and 6, still in the shotgun. Sarnik will put Hudock in motion. We'll see if they go his way. They'll pitch it to Bazuska. Bazuska able to get to the outside. There's going to be a flag on the play. And it looks like that's going to be a holding call, so we'll see what the official call is, and they're pointing towards the Panthers' backfield, and that's exactly what it's going to be. That'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul, and that'll drive Franklin Regional back a little bit here on 2nd down.
Yeah, you see a pitch like that to the right-hand side and a flag getting thrown. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a hold, as they're just trying to keep Gateway off of Bazuska for just a little bit too long. Unfortunately for Franklin Regional, it is a little bit of a buzzkill for the holding, and this is another penalty for the Panthers. I mean, they have had already 3 penalties on this drive.
Self-inflicted wounds. We've seen the Gators deal with those. They had gotten themselves backed up to 3rd and 13 at their opponent's 16-yard line before the touchdown connection to Leonard Sherrod. Now a snap gets away from the quarterback, and Sarnik going to have to dive on it. And so just as we're talking about self-inflicted wounds, the Panthers go from the 30-yard line. Spencer, they're almost all the way back to midfield.
Yeah, that was a miscue there. You saw Sarnik motioning a man to his left, and instead the ball was snapped from his center. So big miscue for Franklin Regional, and we talked about how the offense was moving forward, but really inflicting it on themselves. They just got to calm things down. First real drive of the evening for Franklin Regional as we approach 2 minutes in this first quarter. It's another 3rd down. This time it's 3rd and 16, but
actually it's going to be 3rd and 26 if you look at the sticks. It took me a little
bit.
They have it on the scoreboard. Now they've fixed it. They got the 3rd and 16 the last time. Now it looks like they might convert again, as there goes Bazuska to the outside. Had only one man to beat, but coming up from behind was Harper. That's Dallas Harper. It was just him and number 4 for the Gators in pursuit there, and so Harper is able to bring him down while Kenny Lewis was there in pursuit as well. And Spencer, again, a 3rd and forever situation, and the Gators give it up and much more.
Yeah, Bazuska's just able to find the seam right there, and good blocking. 54 for Franklin Regional, and a couple guys in the backfield, the wide receivers getting in the blocking for Franklin Regional. That was a big play. That's a play that keeps you in these games if you're the Panthers.
Andrew Davola helping to spring that one. Now they'll run it again. Sarnik ran into one of his own, and then he'll get pushed back. So not a whole lot happening there. Franklin Regional, give them credit. The Panthers with 2 3rd down conversions of 16 and 26 respectively. That second time gaining much, much more. They had the ball at about, the 46? That's about a 33-yard run, so they got 7 more than they needed, and now they are on the doorstep, 2nd and 7 at the 10-yard line.
And this is all on runs. I think that pass to Bazuska was technically a lateral backwards. This has all been on the ground for Franklin Regional. They keep this up. Gateway's got to change something. They've got to fix it.
Counter play here, and they'll twist Bazuska up like a pretzel. He had the flashes of a hole there for a moment, but then nothing going, and so no gain on that. It'll be 3rd down and then 6 to go at the 10-yard line. as we wind down here with about 30 seconds left in quarter number one.
And you see again, another couple of players for Gateway in that backfield. It's just been kind of weaseling their way out of it. Franklin Regional has. Give them a lot of credit. They're able to just shed these defensive players in the backfield and get productive yardage out of it.
8 seconds on the play clock, 12 on the game clock. They'll take a shot towards the end zone. Looked like a couple Gators might have got a hand on that one. Number 3, number 10, both Gators in there. That's going to be Malachi Moore and Rakari L. And so a couple of seniors getting in the way there. And now Panthers will put out the field goal team.
It's the right idea for Franklin Regional. You get that slant route, but Sarnik not able to read that coverage and having that DB kind of standing there the whole time. He never committed one way or another, so he was able to get in front of that one, and dangerous pass, but
Joseph Baines able to knock this one up and through. That one from about 27 yards straight on. And so Baines with his 4th field goal of the season gets Franklin Regional on the board. 7-3 our score, just 5 seconds left here in quarter number one. So Spencer, the Gators defense bends. They give up 2 long 3rd down plays to the Panthers, but they don't break.
yeah, I mean, I think especially in their own side of the field, they did a good job staying home. I think Franklin Regional really was moving the ball well on the ground. It's just I think the difference between Franklin Regional right now is how long can they keep doing that? How long can they use the legs of Bazuska and Sarnik? And when does Sarnik have to start throwing the ball? When do they have to get a little more creative offensively in terms of passing plays? Or can they use these plays where they're going to the right, they're going to the middle, they're going to the left on the run? And Gateway, they really have to stay home inside the box because they don't know when one of these guys are going to break out and go for a 15, 20-yard run like you just saw at several 3rd downs.
Panthers certainly rely on the ground game. Bazuska comes into this game averaging 9.2 yards a carry, as we said. Quarterback Roman Sarnik with 4 scores on the ground. At the same time, they haven't gone the way of the wideout much, and we know that they like to get the ball into the hands of Aiden Hudock, who has 8 receptions, about 200 yards, averages about 24 yards a catch, has 3 touchdowns, as that kick from Baines there is going to carry over into the end zone. So no time will come off the clock. Still a few ticks left here in the first quarter. The Gators will take over at their own 20-yard line. Brad Burch, a perfect 1 of 1 on that drive as Chris Livesey sacrificed himself on the option pitch, and Inez Jordan went over 60 yards and set the Gators up for a short drive inside the 15-yard line. It was a 3rd down and 16 throw to the end zone. Leonard Sherrod caught it for the touchdown. And so the Gators will go to work here for drive number 2.
Same thing we saw in the first drive. Got 22 out there under quarterback, almost like a wildcat formation.
That's a good sign to see Livesey in the game. He'll hand this one off to Reynolds. Reynolds stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. So it looks like a couple different Panthers in there, with Roman Sarnik leading the charge once again as well. Number 54 for Franklin Regional, Andrew DeVola, who's playing both ways tonight as well. That'll bring us to the end of quarter number 1. Gators on top 7-3. We'll flip sides. Gators will now go left to right across your screen offensively. And they'll have 2nd and 10 when we get back rolling. In the interim, Spencer, notes from the first quarter. What's on your mind as you've watched now the Gators through 12 minutes of play here against the Panthers?
Well, unfortunately, offensively, I think the sample size is a bit too small. I do like the fact that they were able to use the running play and work with what they've got, especially with Chris Livesey. We haven't seen much of Burch. You talked about how the offense really has had some issues. Burch hasn't been as good as we would expect, as good as we saw him last year, and maybe just having Livesey in for a couple plays, just kind of getting the tempo for Gateway to give Burch that opportunity. On the other side for Franklin Regional, they have dominated on the ground, and I think they're going to keep doing that. They really like the feet of Sarnik and Bazuska, and it's just a matter of how long can Gateway keep bending and not breaking, and can they finally be more sturdy on the ground and force Sarnik, excuse me, to throw the ball. We saw Gateway out there for a while, especially the defense, so I think this is good as well to have this quarter end, and Gateway I think they need a good drive here. A 3 and out is not something that I think Gateway is going to want to have to deal with, especially after a defense was out there for several minutes.
Will have their work cut out for them. That last run, a loss of 2 for Jaquan Reynolds will make it 2nd down and a dozen. Man in motion, Livesey drops back, he fumbles the ball, and the Panthers will take over inside their own 10-yard line. So Livesey dropped back to pass there, and using the backup quarterback proves to be an issue as Livesey puts the ball on the turf, and the Panthers recover. Let's take another look there. The pressure by number 75 for the Panthers, and he's the one that recovers it as well.
It's Troy Slezak.
Troy Slezak, the freshman.
That's a nice play from Slezak, getting his hand on it near Livesey. You got to keep that ball against you, especially if you're going to make that juke move. You can't have that ball out there because that's more of an opportunity for guys to just whack their hands out. They're just going to throw them out and hope for the best, and that's exactly what happened for Slezak and Franklin Regional. And look what just happened, how this thing has turned for the Panthers.
1st and goal from the 8-yard line. They'll hand it off. It's Bazuska. He gets tackled up high. As Demetrius Harper didn't grab any face masks, didn't grab any horse collars, so no flags come out there. And it might have been a gain of 1, but I think that they'll mark it right at the 8 at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
A good tackle, I think, from number 11. Didn't see anything illegal on that one.
Hand off again, they'll go to the left side now with a little bit of a hold. And getting into the end zone is Bazuska. And Franklin Regional takes its first lead of the night on an 8-yard run from the talented tailback Bazuska. The PAT will make it 10-7 should it go through.
Blocking downfield, or blocking, I think, really, Franklin Regional has done a good job. Gateway is just not able to get to Bazuska, who is really able to burst through on the left side. You could tell they wanted to do that exact same thing last time. One guy got to him to tackle him down. They do the same thing, and it works this time for the Panthers.
PAT up and good. That'll make it 10-7, and out for the 2nd consecutive week. The Gators trail in the first half of a game, as they've surrendered 10 unanswered points here to Franklin Regional. 7 quick ones there off of the turnover. Livesey dropping the ball, and you have to wonder if we'll see him come back out and start at quarterback again. And Spencer, it's a bit mystifying. I understand wanting to throw a different look there and having him run. I did not anticipate Livesey going back to pass the ball when Burch is seemingly healthy. He was able to hit Sherrod on the touchdown pass.
Yeah, and I think the thing you have to wonder is, was that play just blown up from the beginning? We saw 3 Franklin Regional guys in the backfield to start, and was it almost a desperation play for Livesey, knowing that he has to get this ball off instead of able to kind of work with it and go a specific way on a Wildcat formation. But Franklin Regional, that defense has done well, at least right there. Big momentum change. The offense on the ground again. They keep going on the ground until they won't need to. But here comes a Gateway again. They got to do something offensively here.
Just a 2-play drive for the Panthers. This kick will trail into the end zone once again. And the Gators will get the ball right back just a few plays after the turnover. And we'll see who comes out to quarterback this Gateway football club. See Livesey in the huddle, but he also plays wide receiver. So we'll see who comes out to man the offense here, and if it's Burch or it's Livesey after Livesey put the ball on the ground. Once again, that fumble recovery by Troy Slezak. And 2 runs with Bazuska. He was stopped by Demetrius Harper. No gain on that 1st and 8 in the goal-to-go situation, but then on 2nd down, they sprung him He's able to get into the end zone. It is Livesey once again in the backfield, and the snap once again gets away from the Gators, and now Livesey running for his life. He's able to get the edge. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and it looks like maybe a few more. We'll see where they mark him out. Looks like a gain of 2, or no gain at all. They'll mark it back to the original line of scrimmage. It looked like Livesey might have snuck out a few yards past the initial stick there, but it'll be 2nd and 10 and Spencer after that. No gain on that play is probably one of the better outcomes you could have hoped for.
Yeah, the fact that Livesey was able to get back to the line of scrimmage is a testament to how good he can run with the ball. Question is, how often can they do this? How often is Franklin Regional going to stay home and expect that run? What's Livesey going to do now?
They'll run the option again. Livesey fakes the pitch. He'll move forward for just a couple. It'll be 3rd and long for the Gators. Take another look. Livesey will stay in at quarterback. We'll see if they task him with trying to throw again. His only attempt here early in this contest ended up as a turnover. He was hit and fumbled the ball. I think it might be a passing situation here again. 3rd and 8. They'll snap it. Livesey's back to pass, scans his options. This one's tipped and nearly intercepted. Luckily, no one in the immediate vicinity there. But after the turnover, a 3 and out deep in Gators territory. They're going to have to punt this one away.
As you take a look again, pocket just collapsing on Livesey, but it was 54 again for Franklin Regional who got to that one, Andrew DeSilva, and 3 and out, nothing doing for Gateway. This is not good. I'm not saying that you should sound the alarm yet, but I would at least walk over to it and maybe kind of make sure you know how it works, because right now Gateway is in a lot of trouble early on in this game.
Need a good snap here. They'll get it. Plaskin sends this one, not a terribly long punt, but he'll get a very, very favorable bounce, as this one will trail all the way down inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. And so Plaskin able to get a nice roll there for the Gators. And Franklin Regional will have to go 3/4 of the field to get more points on the board. But Spencer, you've got to think there must be something not right with Brad Burch for him to not be out on the field in these kinds of situations, like a 3rd and long. And your quarterback with offers to Akron and Oregon, nowhere to be found. He did come in and throw the touchdown pass, but that's all we've seen of Brad Burch thus far tonight.
Yeah, and that's the confusing thing, I'd argue, is the fact that when we saw Livesey go down, that Brad Burch came in. He came in, he threw the touchdown, and then that was pretty much it. I don't know exactly what the situation is. I don't know what head coach Don Hull is deciding with this, but you have to wonder. I mean, you saw him last week. You didn't see anything out of the ordinary, really. Maybe something in practice might have been the difference.
1st down carry here for Bazuska. He falls forward through a hole that closes quickly. That'll be a gain of 3.
You see the run game again for Franklin Regional, and getting 3 yards on that one, so still a little bit more productive. They're trying to move forward on the ground, and how important that punt was, I think, flipping the field, and now Franklin Regional is going to be forced to have to, it seems like they're going to run it all the way down the field if they want to score here, because that is what they continue to do, continue to run for the Panthers.
2nd down now. They'll fake the pitch. And now an open hole there, and flipped by Kenny Lewis is the ball carrier Sarnik. Quarterback faked the handoff, kept it himself, and he'll get enough for 1st down yardage once again.
It seems like this is designed really for Franklin Regional. He's taking a look. It's a run to the right that you push everybody over, but instead Sarnik just goes to his left, and it's more of a one-on-one matchup. They like the matchup that Sarnik can have on the run game as a mobile quarterback, and thinking they're going to get farther and farther with that when they have more open space. Even though they got unblocked guys, they like how Sarnik is moving the ball.
Again, they'll fake the pitch, same play there. This time they'll get Another decent chunk of yardage before Remy Bose, who was shaken up earlier in the contest but returned, able to stick the ball carrier there after a gain of about 5, so it'll be second and medium once again. And Franklin Regional's done a good job staying, as they say, ahead of schedule or right on schedule with second and medium, second and short situations.
Yeah, I think Franklin Regional is really running with a purpose right now. You're doing a good job, because it's hard for Gateway because you expect Bazuska, who's a really good runner. They have it pitched out to the right. You got to go over there. You got to protect the right side. But then you've got Sarnik, who is going to his left. This isn't something you see too often in high school with quarterbacks going on their own, going out in open space on a one-on-one coverage.
Another handoff. It's Bazuska. He stood up, and that extra push from the Gators will give him the first down. Malachi Moore was fighting to bring him down, and then running up behind was Roberson Louis Juin.
We have a huge injury right now on the field.
I did not see what happened there, but number 12, Logan Donnelly, the senior, is down.
And I saw Donnelly get knocked over. A guy fell into his leg, and I don't know how to put this nicely. The leg moved in a way that it's not supposed to bend. That was snapped in a bad situation. So really hoping Donnelly is going to be all right. It looked painful. I saw the referee immediately wave over to the trainers to come out to. A scary situation right now for Franklin Regional.
You've got the EMTs out on the field immediately. Looks like parents might be down on the field as well, and you hold your breath. You hate to see these situations where a young man suffers that kind of injury, potential kind of injury. We certainly don't want to make any assumptions whatsoever, but certainly you saw it, Spencer. You saw, as you said, the leg moved away that we know it's not supposed to move, and we know that those are some of the risks that these players sort of have to work through when playing a very physical sport like football. And so we certainly hope that Logan Donnelly, the senior, is certainly likely not to return tonight, but hopefully the young man, just in general, is going to come out of this as favorably as he can.
Yeah, Donnelly listed as a running back. Quarterback plays wide receiver as well as the backup quarterback behind Sarnik, and just a scary situation, especially because the worst part was after the play. It was late. It was a guy from his own team falling into his leg after getting knocked over by a Gateway player. And it wasn't anything malicious from the Gateway player. It was just kind of falling into it. But a really, really scary situation right now. And
so we'll turn our attention to the matter at hand as far as the game. And now, Spencer, again, the Gators not utilizing Brad Burch. Not sure if something happened throughout, but you see him there on your screen, standing, healthy, moving around. Number 12 there for the Gators. He came in, his only pass, he hit Sherrod right on the numbers for a touchdown. We haven't seen him since. We've seen Chris Livesey in. And Livesey, certainly an athlete, but very much not a natural quarterback, it looks like. Certainly not as natural as Brad Burch, who's attracted Division I attention and was one of the leading passers, leading in yardage last season in all the WPIAL. So it makes you wonder what circumstances have occurred that have led the offense to move in such a drastic way. And after a turnover and a quick 3-and-out, and now before this injury, that the Panthers moving the ball once again. We'll see what happens here after what looks like it'll be a bit of a lengthy pause. But, Spencer, all of that being said, it looks like momentum is squarely in the hands of the Panthers right now.
Yeah, I mean, Franklin Regional is really controlling this game. They come in here, nothing to lose, everything to gain against a Gateway team that offensively has done well. And I think offensively, defensively has done well, and offensively has been there. But you talk about how Brad Burch just not in the game, and have to wonder exactly what was the play call, what was the situation coming into this game, wondering why. It was not like it was Burch struggling and then they bring in Livesey to maybe try and change things. It was Livesey immediately into the game on the first drive, and it worked. It worked well. I mean, they had that that option play that went, a handful of yards, at least 40, 50 yards. So you have to wonder just how are they going to roll with that? How long does this continue? Is Livesey able to get more accustomed to being in the quarterback situation, or does Burch come back in? There's a lot of questions, I think, for Gateway. And Franklin Regional, they're taking advantage of it. Give them credit. They are taking advantage of the miscues. Livesey, of course, fumbling right in their own 15-yard line, 10-yard line. And the ground game for Franklin Regional has worked very well against Gateway. Gateway is kind of staying in a base position where they can't commit one way or another because they have the quarterback for Franklin Regional, Roman Sarnick, going one way. They've got Zach Bazuska going the other, and it's a situation, I think, for Franklin Regional that they want to keep this up. You want to continue this momentum. Gateway's defensively, I don't think they're doing bad. I just think it's just a lot to withstand. It's a lot to withstand. They've got to stack the box. They've got to force Sarnick to go in the air. Sarnick has not really thrown the ball, if at all, in this game. I think we saw one curl route, and then we saw one incomplete pass on the near side and third down. That's pretty much been it. So if you really make him earn it in the air, I think is the difference right now for Gateway defensively.
Take a look at some of the upcoming broadcasts here for our Gateway Gators production crew. We'll have girls soccer, Latrobe at Gateway coming up. Football, that'll be next week, along with next week, Spencer. I think you and I will be on the call once again. Gateway will return home for a matchup against Plum. You doing the call on the 21st?
I believe I am, yeah. It's a girls soccer team, Latrobe at Gateway. Would be good to see them as well. The boys soccer team has started out pretty well. They've had a couple of big wins against a couple of opponents. And fall sports, I think it's my favorite time of the year. We talk about all the sports, volleyball, soccer, football. It's a great time of year where the weather gets nice and cool out. You get Friday night lights, things like that. Things like this is always fun to be around for high school sports. We'll have a lot of good broadcasts. We're definitely giving some quality productions here on Gateway Sports Network as we take a look at the WPIAL Class A Allegheny 6 Conference. Upper St. Clair 3-0, Peters Township, the Indians 3-0, Bethel Park 2-1, South Fayette 2-1. Moon, tough start to the year for them so far, 0-3, and my alma mater, the Baldwin Highlanders, 0-1 right now in the conference, 1-2. They're taking on North Allegheny this evening, I believe, and that's going to be tough for them, but hopefully they'll be able to pull out that one.
The other side, Class 5A Northeast, Shaler, one of the surprising stories at 2-1 to start the season. And a lot of teams with losing records were playing tough non-conference slates. And even more importantly than looking at that, we get word that the injured player Logan Donnelly has been put onto the stretcher as everyone here has sort of held their breath as his teammates will come out to check in on him. And certainly, Spencer, these are always tough moments, emotional moments for everyone involved. You hate to see this, any team, any athlete, anywhere, but it's just that much more painful when it's a senior, when it's a guy who this is his last go-round with it. You hate to see that get truncated in any way for a guy like Logan Donnelly.
Yeah, it's good to see him moving his hands, moving his legs, taking some high fives from his teammates. I mean, just a freak accident, really. Just is the easiest way to put this, unfortunately. He gives a hand up to the crowd and a big ovation for him. We really, really hope he'll be all right in the next coming months after this injury, because it's going to be tough to watch from the sidelines for him for the rest. Honestly, I think it's going to be the rest of this year. When we saw that leg injury, it's going to be tough for Donnelly, but we wish him all the best.
And certainly a Franklin Regional team that has some prospects this season, has some expectations. They've brought a lot back, and you'd have to think this team's going to play even more inspired tonight, losing one of their teammates, one of their senior leaders, and wanting to go out and win this game for him. I'm sure they're having those conversations in the huddle. But now we've broken the huddle, and we will resume play after a bit of a lengthy delay there on the injury to Logan Donnelly. We resume 1st down and 10. The Panthers were moving ahead of this. We'll see if they can keep that momentum after the lengthy pause. Needed the play clock to reset there. Now it has, so the officials will spring us back into action here with 7 minutes and change here in half number 1. It'll be a handoff to Buzka. He'll hit the hole hard, bounce off one would-be tackler, and then he's pushed out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. So that'll be a gain of close to 7 yards there, maybe 8, and that'll come up the second and short again. And the Panthers continue to just, on every down, move the ball well, but especially on first down.
Yeah, we saw a lot of the run last year against Gateway for Franklin Regional, and I think it really just, it was difficult for Franklin Regional to really get things moving, get in a groove offensively on the run. But you see them fake it to the right, go to the left, fake to the right. They're really forcing Gateway to spread the field entirely after, ironically, inside the box.
Alexis, license plate number
PA announcer instructing folks to move cars that might be in the way of getting Logan Donnelly transported out. A nice stop there by the Gators defense, and now a couple players getting into it. Demetrius Harper taking a swing there. And so we got a couple different players getting into it. Looks like Aiden Hudock also involved in that. 2 flags flew. We'll see what that works out to and what penalties we'll get as players getting ripped away by coaches from the situation. As Owen Sinclair also letting his opinion be heard as temper starting to flare a little bit here in a contentious game here in the second quarter.
Yeah, we saw Owen Sinclair, but we saw it was Andrew Davola and Demetrius Harper with some extracurricular activities, and they threw the flag, and then it was Harper again. The late push after is going to be the other flag. I think these penalties are going to offset. I think they're going to throw it one on each side, but we'll see. It was a lot of pushing and shoving. We saw some of that earlier. Nothing too crazy though. But again, I think it comes with the tide here when it comes in terms of Franklin Regional. It comes with the territory, is what I meant to say. Gateway's kind of frustrated offensively. They're getting blocked away from the ball. They're getting these extra couple of yards, Franklin Regional is, because there's some good blocks, maybe a little more holding than the refs are calling. You could make that argument if you're a Gateway fan. And the frustration from guys like Demetrius Harper, who feel that they should be able to stop these runs for 1-2 yard gains, but they're going to 4, 5, 6 yard gains. It's frustrating, and it's a bit of a nerve-wracking one for Gateway, but we'll see what the call is here.
Some cramping for the Gators early in this game. That's a theme we've seen thus far this season. And we had an unsportsmanlike on both sides. Those will offset. We will move to third down. A little bit of a loss on the play there for the Panthers. So it looks like it'll be about 3rd and 6 upcoming. Ball still in Gators territory, but just barely. Looks like it's at about the 49-yard line of the Gators. And third down on defense has not been great for the Gators thus far tonight. On that long field goal drive, they gave up conversions on 3rd and 16 and 3rd and 26. So the Gators with a 3rd and officially 7 here at the 49-yard line will try to get the stop. Hudock in motion. And now it's Kazuska in motion. They'll go deep across the middle. No one home there. That one well overthrown. So the Gators avoid giving up another 3rd down conversion there with a nice defensive stop. And now decision time at midfield for Franklin Regional.
The 3rd down again. That only the second one we've seen that was thrown or tried to be a pass for Franklin Regional, and just off the mark, off the target for number 9 for Franklin Regional, or for number 6, Roman Sarnik. But they're going to go for it here, looks like, on 4th down.
Well, they did do the pooch punt the last time.
No, I'm mistaken.
They'll do it again. That's seemingly become a lot more popular here as Harper's going to pick this one up, make a few men miss, but now he's going to get swallowed up. That's a nice job there by the big fella, number 54. That'll be Andrew Davola, who got into it with the other Harper brother, Demetrius, and now he brings down Dallas deep in Gators territory. They'll take over right around what looks like maybe the 17-yard line. So the Gators will have a long ways to go, and we'll see if the Gators, now with Brad Burch returning to the game, if he can make it happen. Burch in the shotgun, manning the offense for just the second play tonight. He'll fake the handoff, take it himself, calls his own number. He's got a good gain there out towards the sticks. That'll be first down yardage.
It's a good start for Gateway offensively. Bring in Burch. Franklin Regional, I think, plays a couple steps back, more expecting that pass, and he takes it himself up the left side for a first down.
And so Burch comes in, picks up the first down with his legs. He's done a fine job of that thus far this season. We'll see a low snap. He'll hand this one off and pitch it out to Jordan. Jordan with a nice gain there as well. So Burch comes in, a couple gains there of over 10 yards, and all of a sudden the Gators starting to put things together a little bit here offensively, out past the 40-yard line to the 42.
And a good pitch. Seeing Jordan kind of waiting till kicks outside, and then Burch just shoveling that one over to him, whichever would be considered a pass or a throw or a pitch. I didn't know if he was behind the line behind him or not. I think it was.
So we have received reports that Burch did indeed sustain a minor injury in last week's contest. That's what we're able to share at this time, and why he did not start the game, but looks like he's good enough to at least get himself into the action here as Shaquan Reynolds able to make a few miss. And he'll pick up a moderate gain there. Looks like about 5 yards, in fact. So good moves there by the shifty tailback, who has offers from a few MAC schools as well as UMass and Temple. That's Jaquan Reynolds.
And Reynolds kind of frustrated with himself, kicking himself because I think he tripped over his own man. Number 7, Inez Jordan, who was on the block there. He cut back in. Might have gotten a couple more yards, maybe 5 or 10 at the most, but instead got tripped up, and Franklin Regional was able to just hold him to a 5-yard gain.
Still second and medium. They'll hand this one off, or rather pitch it again, and Jordan almost coughed that one up. That pitch into the backfield was sniffed out immediately. A nice play there by the Panthers, and now that one drives them back for what will be a 3rd and long situation. Sarnick just read that one completely.
Yeah, who else but Sarnick? I mean, recognizing that Burch is out there, they did that shovel pass 2 plays ago, so Sarnick decides to just commit fully to Inez Jordan, and instead it pays off for Franklin Regional, and it's a big situation here. And I think this is a big play late in this first half. 3rd and 12 on their own 40-yard line.
We'll see if the Gators go to the air here. The flag comes out. That one tossed well into the backfield. And they'll throw that to just notify everyone that a timeout has been called by the Gators. So yeah, Spencer, big play, 3rd and 12. The only throw of the night for Brad Burch, went for 6 in a similar situation. 3rd and long, hit Leonard Sherrod over the middle, who split between 2 defenders, got himself into the end zone. You'd have to think on a 3rd and 12 that they'd consider going to the air here once again, even though we know that Brad Burch not playing at 100%.
Yeah, we've seen a tale of 2 different teams offensively. Franklin Regional really likes to run the ground in the middle or outside. Gateway has really just been kind of shovel passing, kind of waiting for the last second, spacing themselves outward. And then throwing-wise, we haven't had many throws in this whole game. And I think that's a testament especially of the legs of the quarterback for Franklin Regional, Roman Sarnick, and the fact that we've had Burch, who sustained an injury, a minor injury last game. How much does he want to fully commit to throwing, and how much is it more of just trying to get this run game working so then he can open up the air?
We'll see which way they elect to go here on a 3rd and long situation. Burch in the gun with Reynolds behind him in the pistol formation. Man in motion is Jordan. Burch back to throw. He's going to let this one go down the field. Has a man, and it's just a bit too long for Dallas Harper, who had a step on Aiden Hudock there. That one falls to the turf, incomplete.
Took the words out of my mouth. Had a step. Another look at it. Burch waiting, seeing Harper down the field. just out of his reach. If that is on target, he is gone for a touchdown. But instead, Franklin Regional still holding on to their lead. On a 4th down play now, and we'll see, is it going to be that pooch punt, or will we see Gateway go for it?
Burch will take the snap. He will punt it, but it is blocked. And he'll dive on it there to avoid it getting picked up. So another special teams mistake for the Gators will lend a short field to Franklin Regional. They'll take over inside their own 40-yard line. They'll mark it down close to the 30 at the 32.
Andrew Davola back in the backfield again for Franklin Regional. And it was funny, we were talking about how I didn't realize that they were going to pooch punt. You talk about how it seems like it's happened more and more, but the downfall of that pooch punt is that you don't have as much room to work with if you're punting the ball. So anyone that can get into the backfield like that, if they're on the right side of it, which Davola was on the side that Burch was punting on, gets his hand on it, and it's a big change now, because instead of the ball going 30, 40 yards down the field on a regular punt, hoping for the flipping the field, Franklin Regional's got 4 minutes here in the second quarter to try and extend this lead.
And perhaps play keep away if they're able to use a little clock with this run game. A 1st down run here by Sarnik. He's able to keep the wheels turning. That'll be a gain of about 6 yards down to the 26. Actually, ball spotted at the 30. That'll be a gain of 8. So second and very short, as Sarnik has been incredibly effective on 1st down.
Sarnik has done a good job. I think one of the big things we saw last year when Sarnik was in the pocket was he didn't feel comfortable. You could tell, being a young quarterback last year, really just wasn't comfortable in the pocket. But now you can see him waiting, knowing where to go and finding the open field.
Carry here by Bazuska, and he gets tossed inside the 20-yard line, but not before a decent gain there. That'll be a 1st down as you take another look at it. Bazuska able to get to the edge there, get brought down there by number 42, Victor Morris, the junior.
Another 1st down for Franklin Regional. They are blocking Gateway extremely well, especially past the line of scrimmage. They're getting guys downfield almost immediately and getting players in front of these Gateway DBs who cannot get to Bazuska and Sarnik.
Panthers have controlled the line of scrimmage. They'll look to keep it on the ground here. Sarnik going to cut it back inside. A good job there by Remy Bose, limiting the damage there, because if it weren't for Bose, there was a lot of turf, a lot of greenery right in front of Sarnik there as you look at the replay.
Yeah, Sarnik would have maybe been able to try and cut out to his right, although Leonard Sherrod was there for Gateway. But again, a good job by Bose finding the hole and getting there immediately, not letting number 6 for Franklin Regional get there.
So just a gain of 2 for the Panthers, who are down to the Gateway 18. They'll hand it off to Bazuska again. He cuts inside. He gets hit hard by Kenny Lewis, but not before he gets down inside the 10, close to the 5. Good for another 1st down. And now with 2:13 left, the Panthers have a chance to run this clock down to 0 and put a few more points on the board.
Zach Bazuska has been impressive for me, because when he gets to the outside, he knows when to cut back in. He's always missing these first defenders for Gateway as we have a stoppage of play. I believe we might be having a timeout on the field. We do have a timeout, so Gateway did take a timeout, and I think it was a much-needed one. Late in this second quarter, Franklin Regional is rolling. They are moving their feet well, and like I was saying, though, Bazuska, I really like how he runs. He waits, finds the hole immediately, or I should say he doesn't wait, finds the hole immediately, and then is able to cut back once he realizes that those Gateway players are committed to the outside. They're expecting him to just try and go out to the edge. He cuts back. When Gateway stays home, he's able to get to the outside so well, and he is giving the Gateway Gators a lot of fits. And I hate saying this because I don't like saying this in high school football, but it's a 2-man show right now for Franklin Regional offensively.
Absolutely. Both ball carriers, Bazuska and Sarnik, able to really use some great vision to slow things down and pinpoint holes. And that 2-man RPO there in the backfield has been incredibly effective. They haven't even they haven't even gotten the ball into the hands of Aiden Hudock yet on offense. Have really had no need to do so. But we'll see what they draw up here. It's 1st and goal for the Panthers at the 7-yard line. They'll hand it off. A little bit of a hole here and a big pop there, but no one wrapping up, so Bazuska still on his feet. They'll call that play dead somewhere around the 5-yard line. Looks like at least a gain of 2. That'll bring up 2nd and goal as the clock continues to wind under 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Bazuska just keeps trucking. I mean, he just keeps moving the feet. You've seen it really on every play. A couple times we talked about how they have to blow the whistle for him to be down. He hasn't actually been down for Franklin Regional. So on a 2nd and 5 at the 5-yard line, 2nd and goal I should say, on the 5-yard line. Empty set, but looks like it's going to be, again, another run play to the right side, although a flag on the field.
Looks like that will be against the offense, illegal procedure, another procedural penalty against the Panthers. We've seen a few of those on both sides, and so that will back them up to the 10-yard line where it'll still be 2nd and goal. The clock will continue to run, however, as we are approaching the last minute of play here before halftime. Certainly keep it tuned in here. The Gateway Gators band will play at the conclusion of this first half, and then we'll have the Trib Live High School Sports Network halftime show. But first here, 2nd and goal. Sarnick going to take off with it. He'll get wrapped up right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there, it looks like. And now 3rd and goal. Clock continues to run. 40 seconds and counting.
Another look at this one. Sarnick actually rolling out. I thought, honestly, maybe he was actually going to pass. It looked like he was looking downfield and then just decided after a split second, just taking it himself instead. But
Still
nothing doing there for
Still letting the clock run. 20 seconds left here. Still 2 plays, and now another procedural penalty as a couple guys went into motion before that play got going. They had Aiden Hudock in the backfield there. It looked like a design run to the left with maybe the option to pass it, but we will not know. We'll see if they run that again. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. And now, ball back to the 15-yard line, and if you're the Gators, perhaps a chance to force another field goal attempt and get out of this with it being just a 1-score game, because just a few seconds ago with 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line, it looked destined that the Gators might be looking at a 2-score deficit going into the half, as the Panthers taking some time to talk this one over with 16 seconds left.
And the good news for Franklin Regional is they do have the 2 timeouts in case they do go with the typical run play of Bazuska or Sarnick and they do not get the first down, or I should say do not get into the end zone. So they do have the time to be able to get down there and call a timeout to kick a field goal. But I think if you're Gateway, I think you stack the box again. I think you force them to air it out. I really have yet to see Sarnick, well, we've yet to see him really throw anything, but I think I'd throw a blitz. I would put I'd put several in the box. I would force the DBs in. I would make Franklin Regional almost give them the pass in the sense that you want to make them earn it in the air.
3rd and 15, 16 seconds left. They'll go to the air. Pressure, but they'll get this ball off, and it is intercepted. Going up, high pointing the ball, and a big turnover there as it's number 7 for the Gateway Gators, Inez Jordan, the senior.
That's just a big mistake from Sarnick. If you're throwing a jump ball like that, it's got to be in the back of the end zone. You got to throw that one a little farther deep. And I almost think that the false start kind of negated their initial play. I think they wanted to do that, but the fact that they had the false start, had to move a little bit farther back, kind of running the same exact play, but this time right on the edge of that end zone. And that ball, it's underthrown a little bit, so good play from Jordan getting in front of it. You got to throw that thing either deep in the corner or to the sideline to make it a jump ball where either Jordan can get up and maybe get a hand on it, or it's a catch from the wide receiver, or worst, or I should say not the worst case scenario, it's incomplete past both of them.
So it is Jordan, though, a terrific effort to read that pass, go up, high point it, and pull it down. We'll see what the Gators decide to do here with just 10 seconds left on the clock. Brad Burch with some time. He's going to throw this one, and that one just sort of fell out of the hands of lame duck there. And now with 3 seconds, you wonder if you'll see a kneel down to just get out of this one unscathed. With the Gators down 3.
And Burch is lucky that it's a lame duck and not him fumbling that one. Is obviously Franklin Regional right there for it, playing a prevent defense, not letting anything get behind them. Burch was just going to air it out, but instead it fell. And you have to wonder, are they going to try and throw it down the field again, or do they just go for the kneel? I think if you're Gateway, in personal opinion, I think you got to get out of this half.
Burch will stand for Jaquan Reynolds, and he'll keep it. Now he'll flip it out. It's Inez Jordan, and Jordan going to get tackled after a moderate game, but more importantly, 3 zeros on the clock. We will head to halftime with our score 10-7. Panthers on top of the Gators in a weird first half. We didn't see Brad Burch for much of the first half. And now Burch into the game, and we'll see if he's able to lead the Gators to a second half comeback for the second week in a row. The Gators held under 10 points in the first half. They've surrendered 10 points, and they'll have some work to do in the second half. Spencer, what are your thoughts here after 24 minutes of game action?
Well, the good news for Gateway is, like you said, they're not in an unfamiliar position, being down at half. Bad news for them is that the offense, I think, really was just struggling there immensely, and Franklin Regional was able to run all over. I hate saying this again, but Franklin Regional, they have 2 players offensively. It's Bazuska and it's Sarnik running the ball. They just keep running and running and running, and Gateway is not able to stop it, and that's the difference so far. That momentum swing from Livesey dropping the ball, fumbling that in the back, or on the 10-yard line, is the big difference right now. Have to wonder, not starting Brad Burch in this game, and how important that was.
On the opposite side, sorry, Spencer. The opposite side, the defense holds strong. They had to play a lot of that first half. They manned up when they needed to, forced a field goal on a drive that was humming along for the Panthers, and they forced the turnover there. What have you seen that's impressed you from the Gators defense tonight?
I think the big thing right now for the Gators is that they have been able to hold them in check. No real big plays, especially after those third downs. We saw those big third downs happen, but Gateway was able to hold them to just a field goal. That's huge, especially in a low-scoring game like this. You just got to keep going. I know you got to maybe work things out a little bit better, but Franklin Regional is just running the ball. The fact is, can you stop them? Sometimes you can, and sometimes it's just going to be so tough. You got to force them to pass. If you can do that, Sarnik has to work a little more.
Well, we will step aside here as the Gateway Gators band is taken to the field. We'll crank the crowd mic up for you so you can hear the talented students of Gateway High School perform their halftime show. And then once that concludes, we'll play for you the Trib Live High School Sports Network halftime show. But here, after one half of play, it is 10-7. Franklin Regional on top of the top-ranked Gateway Gators here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and Gateway Gators Football's YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the field the 2022 Gateway High School Marching Band. The band is excited to share their 2022 show entitled Headphones On. Tonight's performance includes the first 3 movements of their show and features Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum, The Marvel Studios Fanfare by Brian Tyler, Father and Son by Yusuf and Kat Stevens, and Mr. Blue Sky by Electric Light Orchestra. And now, the Gateway Music Department is proud to present drum majors Riley McDonough, Brandon Baker, and Landon Lohr, and the Gateway High School Marching Band.
I remember that when I was here last year. I remember I seen quarterback.
Getting ready to go back in action here for half number 2. 3 minutes put on the clock to allow both teams to stretch. Good performances by both marching bands, and for those that tuned in during halftime, a chance to hear the Trib Live High School Sports Network halftime show. After one half of play here in Murrysville, Pennsylvania, it's the upstart Panthers hanging on to a 3-point lead thanks to 10 unanswered points after an early touchdown from the Gateway Gators. And we've seen that so many times this season, Spencer. The Gators have gotten off to a quick start with a quick touchdown and then seen that offense sort of sputter. It was a 16-yard touchdown pass on 3rd and long from Brad Burch to Sherrod, like that Leonard Sherrod, the senior. Burch did not play much in that first half after battling through an injury, not playing at 100%. It was Chris Livesey in at quarterback for much of that first half. Panthers put together quite a drive in the second quarter, converting 2 3rd and long situations, a 3rd and 16, a 3rd and 26, and put 3 points on the board. Actually, that was towards the end of the first quarter, and then early in the second quarter, Chris Livesey turned it over, fumbled it inside the 10-yard line. And on 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line, it was Bazuska running it in, the PAT up and good. Kickers have been great tonight, no misses thus far. 10-7 our score as we're about 2 minutes to kick off here for half number 2. But again, Spencer, more of the same from the Gators offense. A quick touchdown to start the game and then not much to write home about after that.
Yeah, things have really got to change for Gateway if they want to be the team that comes out on top here against Franklin Regional. I think the Panthers really just controlled the tempo themselves. They wanted to run the ball all day and all night, and they're doing that right now. You can clearly tell. I mean, we only had a handful of passes from Roman Sarnik, and it's been Bazuska and Sarnik, a two-man show, running all over Gateway. But The fact that they're just slowly running against Gateway is a good sign for the Gators, I think, but the offense has got to get going for Gateway. Uninspiring football in this first half, I think, for Gateway. And Franklin Regional, they've taken advantage even with their own miscues, a lot of penalties for Franklin Regional. We saw the pick at the end zone at the end of the first half, how huge that could be. Instead of, maybe getting a couple yards and kicking a field goal for an extra couple of points, instead it was no points after being at the 8-yard line.
Sarnik and Bazuska combined over 130 yards rushing in that first half. And so they will send it away here. Gators will have the first crack at getting on the scoreboard in the second half and either tying up or edging back in front in this one. Joey Bain, the sophomore kicker, nailed a field goal, his 4th of the season tonight. He'll send this one deep as Livesey and number 4 Kenny Lewis stand back for the Gators. Lewis, a sophomore, saw some action last season. It's been a return specialist. And Livesey, the senior, who was an unknown commodity last season, came out this year and has a pick 6 to his name, a couple long punt returns, a couple receptions on offense, and apparently is the backup quarterback. And that'll be the big question here for this first drive for the Gators. Will they try Livesey again, or will Brad Burch continue to try and gut it out here? Less than 100%. We'll find out. 24 minutes left in this one as this kick trails into the end zone. Not quite. It'll go out of bounds right before the pylon, so the Gators get a nice break there. They'll get the ball out at the 35-yard line. And that kick goes out of bounds from Joey Bain. It'll be a nice field position for the Gators to start.
Yeah, that one went out of bounds at maybe the 1-inch line. It just goes out of bounds before the pylon. Joey Bain, the sophomore, also plays on the soccer team, had a hat trick against Gateway last week when they played in the boys varsity soccer team last Thursday. Of course, that's the reason I know I was on the call for that one. And tough break for Bain to send that one out of bounds. He had a couple good kicks deep into the end zone. What good field position to start for Gateway.
A little inside baseball, or rather inside soccer there. You can catch Spencer, I believe the 21st is the next soccer matchup.
I was sitting there, I'm like, I recognize this name. And I was like, wait a minute, I remember that.
So you'll see 21st, girls soccer, Latrobe, Gateway, and then Spencer and I next Friday on the call. Once again, the Gators return home. We'll get a stoppage in play here, a flag to start as Brad Burch is back in at quarterback. We're going to get a delay of game against the Gators. Burch trying to protest that to no avail. That'll back the Gators up 5 yards. They'll start this drive now at the 30-yard line, 1st and 15. Good snap, they'll fake the handoff. Burch gonna go deep across the middle. That one's overthrown, and it's intercepted. And quickly coming back the other way, Franklin Regional. That one intercepted by number 3, Heath Sliva. And the sophomore free safety read that one well, comes down with it, and sets up Franklin Regional with great field position once again.
I hate to put all the blame on a quarterback on an interception, especially because not always it's the case, but unfortunately for Brad Burch, it is the case this time. Had a lot of protection, had plenty of time to get that one off. It's overthrown. It's nowhere near Inez Jordan, unfortunately. Sliva in the right place, playing the over-the-top coverage right there for it. Makes a nice grab, and Franklin Regional, they're up here and they got the ball, and like I said, you wanted to start out good for Gateway, and it's not good. You might start pulling that alarm.
Burch's 4th turnover on the season, and now a nice run there by Bazuska on first down. That looks like that'll move the chains once again. As the officials usher them down forward. Bazuska, you see again, the Gators in that second quarter and now to start the third, not able to keep the edges sealed, and Bazuska eating up yards on the outside all evening long.
They are going to keep doing this all night long until Gateway can stop it. And unfortunately for the Gators right now, they can't. I don't know what to change, really. They just can't stop these two.
Second down now. It'll be a keeper. Sarnik stuffed. Not a whole lot of running room there. Looks like he might have gained a yard on the play, but not anything more. That'll be second and long.
And Sarnik hoping for the block from the right tackle, just unable to get there in time for him to bounce out wide, but Gateway right there for it. He's second down and no gain on that one, it looked like, for Sarnik. And empty set for Sarnik. You have to assume he's going to run it again, right? You got to assume you're staying home. He hasn't passed much on second down, but we'll see. Maybe a little bit different here.
Haven't thrown it to Hudock yet. Now they will quickly get it out. That one intended for number 2, Cole Brinker. That one, a nice ball there along the sidelines under duress, but in and out of the hands of the junior wide receiver.
And you know what? I actually really like that play call from Franklin Regional. You know why? Because Sarnik looked like he was going to run the whole time. And you got to hope that maybe a DB steps up just trying to make the play instead. He got that ball over to number 2, Cole Brinker, but Brinker butterfingers on that one, unfortunately.
So it'll be second now, third down and 10. Quarterback keeper designed run. He's tripped up, hit hard. Looks like that was number 10 for the Gators. Ricari L coming from the edge there, laying the boom, and now fourth down. The field goal unit will come on. So after the interception from Brad Burch, crisis averted, and now again an opportunity to keep this at a one-score game.
They'll bring Bain back on for the field goal, who had a field goal earlier in this game. The positive glass half full right now is that Franklin Regional is only looking at a field goal compared to a touchdown. Gateway was able to just hold them deep in their own zone.
Snap good, kick is up, and that one's good from about 34 yards out, so 2 for 2. Bain up and good. Number 22, Joey Bain. So the Panthers extend their lead to 13-7, and if you're the Gators, gotta feel good about this defense. While they've been gashed through the running game, they have been opportunistic with some turnovers and some stops, forced a couple field goal attempts, and now if you can get that offense going down the other way, you've got a chance to tie this up quick.
But unfortunately for Gateway, that's the if. I mean, give the defense a lot of credit. Franklin Regional, other than running the ball, if they keep running the ball, they're doing well, but when they are stopped, that's it. So Gateway is at least holding them then when they're able to stop them, but the offense has just unfortunately not gotten going yet.
Scores from out of town. Hempfield is all over Shaler. Bell Vernon up 13-7 over Penn Trafford, and Plum up 21-7 on Norwin. So those are your other Big East teams in play tonight, including that Plum-Norwin matchup that is a conference matchup. So Plum trying to move to 1-0, as are these two teams here. That one does sail into the end zone. Bain avoids putting that one out of bounds, and so Gators will start at their 20 after a third down interception throw there. The offense will come back out under the direction of Brad Burch, and we'll see, can they put something together here? The defense has held Franklin Regional 13 points. The offense got to do their part, got to put some points up on the board, and Burch trying to play through some pain here, see if he can get it done.
And how much of that pain and injury is causing a big effect on Brad Burch here?
We saw one underthrown on that last drive before halftime, and we saw one overthrown there. A big pop here. Oh my goodness. Jaquan Reynolds stood up by number 57, Owen Sinclair. Oh, 6'1", 235 pounds of him, and wow, that's a bad man right there. You watch him driving Jaquan Reynolds into the backfield.
That's a good play from Sinclair, getting underneath of Jaquan Reynolds and just pushing him back and then putting his hands out like this is too easy for him. Try and do it again here. Again, the passing's got to get going for Gateway if plays like that are not going to work.
Low snap. They will go with the play action fake and a throw deep downfield. It's Livesey behind the defense, and that one will gain the pass interference penalty as Livesey came back, and I think Spencer, the big thing there, the crowd, they're going to complain, but the DB didn't get that head around.
He never looked back. They're going to call that every single time, and that was the reason for the pass interference, unfortunately, for Franklin Regional. I know the fans aren't going to be happy with it. The ball was underthrown just a bit, And that's the reason. All you gotta do is turn around. You turn your head just a little bit. That's not a pass interference, but you never played the ball, and they're gonna call that every time.
And credit to Livesey for setting that up by actively going back and trying to get that ball, which the receiver has every right to do, and the DB does as well. But again, you explained it well, Spencer, not getting the head around and not making an active play on the ball and impeding the receiver from being able to do such.
Yeah, I realize you got to stay with him. It's not easy because the ball's over him. You don't know until Libby turns back. You got to turn back with him, unfortunately, for Franklin Regional.
So that is a 15-yard penalty here in high school. And more importantly for the Gators, a fresh set of downs. After what was 2nd and 11 from the 19, that'll move them to the 34-yard line, and Burch in the shotgun with Reynolds, the sidecar to the left. They'll fake it once again. Reynolds, or rather Burch, almost losing his footing. He's on the run. He's going to let this one go. Has Reynolds downfield, and Reynolds loses track of it, can't haul it in. Oh my goodness. He would have had one man to beat there in Aiden Hudock, but he would have at least had a 30-yard gain or more had he been able to put the mitts on that one.
Oh, blown coverage. You see it's one-on-one. Roman Sarnik is the underneath coverage. There's nothing helping over the top. So you saw Reynolds just go out there. That ball was almost a perfect play for Gateway. Reynolds just not able to haul that one in.
So now, 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 34-yard line, and the Gators will take another stab at it here. Livesey, the man in motion. The ball is fumbled. Did Burch get back onto it? I think he did, but a low snap there. So that'll drive it back. It'll be 3rd and long, so another gut punch for the Gators, who looked like they were going to have a big game, but instead you go now 3rd and long. Looks like it'll be about 3rd and 16. The ball back at the 29-yard line, 3rd and 15 officially for the Gators.
And I'll tell you what, I want to give credit, but that's the 3rd or 4th low snap we've seen from Gateway this evening.
So Burch in what will almost certainly be a passing situation here. Play action fake, pressure in the backfield. They'll go deep. They have a man open, and again, just off the mark. Another man wide open in Remy Bowes and Spencer. The guys are getting open. The ball's just not getting there.
Yeah, another open play and another one that Burch is kicking himself for. Take another look at the coverage. You see it's a slant route. No one there. Number 3, Franklin Regional, Heath Sliva is the only one who can able to get over there, and I think he might have cut in a little bit too aggressively. But nobody there for Franklin Regional and nobody able to grab that for Gateway. That's a tough break for the Gators. The offense not getting going again. It's the pass interference, the only thing that moved that ball down the field.
So the punt team is on. Cole Plaskin. Snap is good. Kick is good. This one will take another very favorable bounce for the Gators. Has a good job there stepping up to it. Donovan Biggs to make sure that Hudock didn't get any second thoughts about corralling that one. And so that one will carry all the way down towards the 20-yard line, be down at about the 21-yard line. So that's quite the punt there, and the Gators will force Franklin Regional to go to the length of the field once again.
Yeah, good job again from the punting unit, able to flip the field. We saw the Sylvie, try and punt. Actually, no, I believe it was Burch who was tried to punt on the pooch punt. Was unable to do that. So special teams unit, for the most part, after saw the long return from Franklin Regional early in the game. Other than that, they've done pretty well so far for this evening.
So Franklin Regional will have 89 yards to go to pay dirt. They'll start here with their quarterback in the gun. Roman Sarnik has done most of the work with his legs tonight. He'll go and call his own number here once again and will fall forward towards the 30-yard line. He'll be just a little short. So another great gain on first down. Now it'll be 2nd and a short 2, a long 1, however you want to call it. They'll actually move the ball back just a little bit shy of the 29, so it'll be about 2 full yards here for the Panthers.
Another good run from Sarnik on the left side, and just waiting for the hole, and then he cuts in, able to get past a couple defenders and taken down, and 8 yards. Keep getting 8 yards like that on the ground. Keep going.
That they will. They'll put it in Bazuska's hands. He'll get enough for the first down and not a whole lot more. Needed 2, got 3. Ball will move to the 32-yard line. Clock will keep moving, and the Panthers will keep this drive moving.
Just enough. That's all they needed for Franklin Regional. Keep it on the ground if you're the Panthers. That's your offensive mentality right now. You don't need to pass. You're moving the ball. It's frustrating for Gateway because you know they're not any big runs. It's not 20-yard, 30-yard runs. It's just these 8, 10 yards, 5 yards when they need the first down, things like that. It's just frustrating.
Sarnik able to make one-man miss, spins away, takes a big hit, absorbs it, and keeps moving forward. Looked like he was stood up momentarily by his counterpart, number 6, Leonard Sherrod, but he bounced off of Sherrod, and the Gators just not doing a good enough job getting those hands around the ball carrier.
Yeah, you see that with Bazuska, and you see it with Sarnik as well. It's not the first guy that's taking down the ball carrier, unfortunately, for Gateway. And get that extra couple of yards every single play. It adds up for Franklin Regional. A 2nd and 2 again, so another 8 yards again for Franklin Regional.
3 plays, 19 yards gained thus far for the Panthers. They'll look to pick up another first down here on the ground. And once again, it looks like they'll get just enough. Needed 2 yards. It looks like they got maybe a half yard more. First down for the Panthers.
Another run, this time to the right side. I mean, it's the same play. It's the exact same 2 plays. 8 yards, 3 yards, first down. First one with the quarterback, Sarnik. Second one with Bazuska.
Play comes in from the sidelines. We'll see if the Gators can make some adjustments here. Franklin Regional continuing to move bodies around, and that clock continues to wind. We're past halfway here through the 3rd quarter. They'll fake the pitch, and now Sarnik again absorbs a hit. But the tackler doesn't wrap up. That initial hit there was by Malachi Moore. It took a gang of Gators defensive men led by the talented linebacker Remy Bose to bring Sarnik down. He'll gain about 2 there on first down. It'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Sarnik is very brave to stand in that pocket and just absorb those hits, especially for a quarterback. It's not something you see too often. It's just this defensive Gateway. We know that they're good. We know that they have really good players on the defensive side, but Sarnik is not afraid to get in there and get those yards.
They'll stand in once again in the gun. Now they will pitch it. That's Bazuska. Bazuska able to make a few miss. There he goes. Puts the head down once again. Gets close to first down yardage. And I think they're going to mark him about a yard short. We'll mark it at about 3rd and very, very short. Another great second effort by Bazuska.
There's tackles like that. Ricari L on the right side there, unblocked, is not able to wrap Bazuska up. It's kind of been the storyline for the defense this evening. They aren't playing bad. They just aren't getting that slight edge to be better than Franklin Regional overall. They're holding them, but they're keep moving Franklin Regional, and that's the issue.
3rd and short at the Gators' 48-yard line. Can they make a stand? It's a keeper right up the gut. It looks like Sarniak going to get just enough there to keep this drive moving. And they will. They'll mark it a first down. They got just enough, and that's been the story, Spencer. Big first downs, and then getting just enough on 2nd and 3rd to keep this drive moving.
And the clock continues to tick down for Franklin Regional. Every single play, you're taking 25, 30 seconds off this clock, and it just keeps ticking, and they're moving forward.
Now at this point, any points would make it a 2 or 3 score game, and then from there, you just start playing the math game with how much time is left after that one blown dead, a procedural penalty, a false start against the Panthers. But Spencer, I mean, God forbid the Panthers go down here, score a touchdown. A field goal makes it a 2-score game. A touchdown still makes it 2 scores, but if they tack on, if they go for 2, it could make it 3 scores. I think you've got an opportunity here where this could start to be a place where you have to do some math and start really hustling here. So we'll see what happens. The Gators almost jumped there. Now they're caught a little flat-footed. 3 guys tracking down Bazuska in the backfield, but he's able to slip away. And now a flag comes in very, very late. We'll see who that was against.
It's amazing. There's 4 guys in the backfield, and Bazuska is able to get away. I mean, this is just incredible running from this young man here for Franklin Regional. How they are able to get away from these defenders and get productive yards out of it. Although I think we might have a penalty. You saw the flag there. I don't know if this is going to negate this.
Personal foul.
Oh, it's going to be a face mask on the defense, and so that will make it an automatic first down. Now Bazuska is down. It looks like he's just cramping a little bit, so they're stretching him out down there. And boy, Spencer, with the workhorse he's been tonight, I'm surprised he's made it this far without a cramp.
Yeah, he's going to need a couple ice packs after this one on his legs, him and the quarterback, Roman Sarnik, and it's just been incredible how 2 players, and I'll give the offensive line credit. I'm going to give the wide receivers covering these DBs, blocking these DBs credit as well, the tight ends. But it's just amazing how 2 players are controlling this game right now. That's it. 2 players are controlling this game. And even Sarnik on the other side of the field, he's had some tackles himself. I mean, they are controlling this game, and Gateway doesn't know what to do right now. Even when things go right, they got 3 guys in the backfield. Bazuska just runs right by them. I mean, it's so amazing watching this, and it's so confusing if you're a Gateway fan, wondering how is this happening.
So it was actually Chase Lemke, number 8, not Bazuska, number 9, who was slow to get up, and he walked himself over to the sidelines. Looks to just be cramped, so good to see him up under his own power. Number 6 and number 9 still in the backfield there. Bazuska taking Demetrius Harper for a little bit of a ride down to the 25-yard line. That'll be a gain of 4 yards on first down as they continue to churn and churn and churn, and now a Gators player down. Can't see the number from here. But grabbing at the ankle, not a good sign. Training staff will come out and attend to the injured Gators player. We'll see if we can get a report on who that is. And as it stands, it'll be second and about 7 yards. With Franklin Regional continuing to drive, and we've seen this defense for the Gators playing so well early in this season, as that's Demetrius Harper who's down with an ankle injury. And they've been so sure-handed tackling, producing takeaways, and they do have the 1 interception tonight that ended the first half, but the tackling just hasn't been there tonight for the Gators.
No, and it's frustrating if you're Gateway, because again, I'd argue, and it's a controversial argument if you're a Franklin Regional fan, that defensively Gateway is performing very well against Franklin Regional. They're holding them to only these runs, but it's plays. I think the play a couple plays ago where, again, they had 3 guys in the backfield and they could not bring down Bazuska. It's plays like that that really have defined this game. Gateway is not playing bad per se defensively. Offensively, yeah, they're struggling. But right now, Franklin Regional is the better team because of this offense just keeps moving. They do not give up. They do not care. They stand in the face of this adversity and just keep plowing forward.
So that'll be second down and officially 6 with the ball at the 26-yard line. As we talked about it, the Gators with all the star power, Burch, Harper, Matthew Brooks on the line, but it's been the star power for the Panthers tonight that has propelled them to this lead thus far, and they're driving again. Sarnik going to take it himself, a big hole. They'll be stopped right around that 20-yard line. We'll see if they've got enough for the first down. No indication just yet. Looks like they're going to be about a yard short. So they'll have 3rd and 1 here from right around the 20-yard line.
Again, that offense going to the right. Got 4 blockers there. Everybody picking up a man. That's the difference, getting those couple of yards and very close to a first down.
Quick snap. Sarnik dives underneath, gets down inside the 20. And the crowd is loving it here. A close to capacity crowd here at Franklin Regional. We're less than 2 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. The Panthers are driving and threatening to really break this one open against the heavily favored Gators.
It's amazing. I mean, this is, I wouldn't say, you know, if things go like this is one of the bigger upsets we've seen, but I mean, it's got to be for a Gateway team that is so much star power and a Franklin Regional team that is just bulldozering them.
Sarnik will keep it again. He's been the one on this drive. Those go with a couple carries, but Sarnik really carrying the load. Not a lot going there. Looks like he'll gain about 1 yard. More than anything, Franklin Regional probably happy to just continue to milk this clock and take away those windows of opportunity for the Gators to produce big plays.
And the defense is still out there for Gateway. A tired defense. They've had a couple drives now where they've been out there for a while. Gateway's got to be huffing and puffing there on the defensive side. Not much room to work with for Gateway.
Sarnik in the shotgun again with Bazuska right behind. They'll roll out. They'll go with the pass. Brooks wasn't able to wrap him up. But then Rakari L coming in and dropping Sarnik in the backfield. And Spencer, they hadn't gone to the pass the entire drive. They try to switch it up here with a play action fake, and it sends them backwards in a hurry.
Yeah, it's an interesting play action fake. They roll out and they make the quarterback Roman Sarnik kind of roll to his right or roll to his left, and he has to like turn a 360 turn just to kind of look downfield, and there's not enough time. There's two guys in the backfield for Gateway, and Franklin Regional, I'm kind of confused by that play call. I mean, you're running the ball, you're moving it, keep going, and it's just they go with the pass. I know they want to try and open that up, try and catch Gateway a little bit off guard, but if you're getting productive yards out of these, keep going.
We have reached the end of the third quarter. Just 12 minutes remain in this one. And the Gators find themselves in a hole and threatening to be in one even larger. 13-7 our score. Our only scoring here in the second half, a 34-yard field goal by the place kicker for Franklin Regional. That is number 22, Joey Bain. Gators coming into this game, one of just two teams unblemished in the Big East Conference, 3-0, with wins over most recently North Hills, 2 weeks ago Woodland Hills, and then opened with a win over Mount Lebanon. Gators won this matchup last season 40-9 here once again in Murrysville. That was the regular season finale for the Gators, their tune-up before an eventual playoff loss to the Penn Hills Indians. As we talked about, big thing here, especially for this game here, with some tough matchups. You know, Hempfield looks really good. Penn Trafford is always a favorite in the Big East. There are just 8 teams making the postseason this year as opposed to 12 last year. And so what that means is only the top 2 teams in all conferences will make it. So every loss is that much more meaningful as we look at the standings again. And you look, 6 teams here, only 5 games. So now you've only got 4 more chances to stockpile victories. And Hempfield, as we said, up 48-7 over Shaler. Penn Trafford still down 13-7 to a very talented Bell Vernon team. And Plum looking good tonight as well in their conference opener. So a tough road ahead for the Gators, and for a team that was predicted to be the top team in 5A, playoffs might not be a guarantee. They've got their work cut out for them, but they forced a 3rd and long here in a goal-to-go situation. But still within field goal range to make this a 2-score game. Bazuska down inside the 5, able to knife his way through. The Gators bend but don't break. And now we'll see, do they go for it to try and make this a 12 or 13 point lead, or do they settle for the field goal?
We got Bazuska is down on the play as well, which is not a good sign for Franklin Regional. But you talk about it, bend but don't break, but they keep bending. They're going to get to a point where they're just folded in half. I mean, it's bad for Gateway right now. The blocks upfield have been phenomenal for Franklin Regional. That was a play. Sarnik went in motion. Bazuska's in the backfield. You know it's a run. There's no way Bazuska's throwing this ball. He runs to the right, and he still is gaining the first down on this. I mean, well, I shouldn't say the first down. I believe it was in goal. But he's still gaining these productive yards. I mean, this is amazing how they're doing this. against Gateway. This Gators defense that we've seen them. They held Mount Lebanon to 6 points. They've held these teams to single digits and double digits. I think the most that they've given up is what, 20? I believe?
17 last week against North Hills.
Yeah, so the fact that Franklin Regional a touchdown here, they'll score the most points against this Gateway team, and they're doing it on 3 plays.
Well, and that's 17 points. Good to note that there was a kick return touchdown as well. So
Even
really,
then,
the defense only surrendered 10. You look at it, that's 16 points in 3 games. As we take a look at their schedule moving ahead, certainly the road ahead does not get easier for the Gators. They got to return home to take on Plum, who's staring down 1-0 in conference play, and then they'll head out even further east against Hempfield, a Spartans team that looks like they've got some magic going, and then 2 big games against Penn Trafford and a McKeesport Tigers team that has been blowing the doors off of people and impressing people early this season before coming home to take on Norwin and ending the season against the #1 team right now in 6A Central Catholic. So a tough schedule ahead for these Gateway Gators. So 4th and 5, decisions for Franklin Regional.
well, it's a 1-score game, and I think if you're Franklin Regional, I would think you'd have to kick this. I think that you want to make this a 2-possession guarantee. If you've got Joey Bain, who's a pretty good kicker himself, but he's lined up over there as well, so it looks like they might be going with him to kick this and make it, like I said, a 2-possession game.
They're letting it wind down. We'll see if they call the timeout or are they going to back it up. They will call the timeout. Sometimes you'll see them back it 5 yards on a penalty to sort of give a better angle for the kicker because that ball on the right hash. But it will be a field goal attempt upcoming to make this a 2-score game with 11 minutes and 20 seconds. And so far, Bain has been excellent for Franklin Regional. Joey Bain, the sophomore kicker, had the hat trick, as Spencer had noted, in the soccer game against the Gators, and now trying to put 3 more on the board once again.
It's not a guarantee, you know, tough hash. You don't know if he likes the right hash or the left hash better, but if he converts this, Gateway is in a lot of trouble right now, especially if Burch and the offense cannot get going. I think regardless of what happens here, if Bain kicks his field goal and converts it, or if he doesn't, even misses it, this next possession for Gateway, I think, will define the game. I think this will be, obviously, you've seen crazier things happen, but I think that this next possession for Gateway, regardless of what happens, might be the difference in this game.
So this will be a 22-yard attempt, the shortest of the night for Bain. Snap down, hold good, kick is up, and that kick is good. So Bain, we've talked about it. We've talked about Sarnik and Bazuska, apologies, being really the guys carrying the load tonight for Franklin Regional. But number 22 is putting his name in the hat for player of the game tonight. 3 for 3 on field goals. He's been excellent on the kickoffs outside of putting 1 out of bounds and nailed a PAT as well.
Yeah, for a sophomore especially, I mean, getting those kicks into the end zone pretty easily, pretty convincingly, with the exception of the one that, you know, went at the inch line out of bounds. But making a name for himself here, Joey Bain himself as a sophomore. Got a couple more years of kicking under his belt if soccer isn't where he's going with this in the future. I mean, football as a kicker, it's a position that he definitely has a prowess in.
Good from 27, 34, and 22 respectively tonight is Joey Bain. And we'll take you through our scoring as a Gateway Gator is tended to down on the field. Looks like some more cramping. So we're still just in week 3, 4th game of the season. Temperatures still probably in the mid to low 60s as we take a look at a beautiful night. There it is, right on cue. Thank you to our talented crew led by Lee Schaefer throwing the graphic up. 67 degrees, partly cloudy, but super humid down there. You look at that number, 79% humidity, not a lot of wind. Even though this sun is down, it is still a beautiful evening here in western Pennsylvania. So the Gators got the scoring started with a 16-yard touchdown pass from Brad Burch to Leonard Sherrod. Burch had spent much of the first quarter on the sidelines nursing a minor injury, and with Chris Livesey was knocked out for a few plays after taking a pretty heavy hit on an option pitch to Inez Jordan that went for 63 yards. Livesey came out, Burch came in on a 3rd and 13 and threaded the needle to Sherrod between a few defenders for the touchdown. After that, Franklin Regional put together a sustained drive, converted 2 third and long situations. As we see, it's Remy Bose down once again, getting stretched out. Bose, one of many Gators that plays both sides of the football, so certainly more likely to sustain some cramping as he's struggling to get to his feet, limping off. Hopefully he'll be able to get stretched out on the sidelines and back into this one. So that drive ended with Baines knocking the first of his 3 field goals through from 27 out. And then a turnover. Chris Livesey had the ball stripped away on the subsequent drive, and just a few seconds into the second quarter, it was an 8-yard run on 2nd and goal for Bazuska. PAT up and good from Baines made it 10-7. Franklin Regional, their first lead of the night. They've led ever since. A couple field goals here in the second half, one in the third quarter from 34, one here at the start of the fourth from 22. At 16-7 is our score. The Gators will get the ball back here. Still a lot of time left in this one, Spencer, but if you're the Gators, it really feels like now or never.
Yeah, it's now. I hate to say it, but it is now or never for Gateway. This is a drive that they need points. It's a touchdown or a field goal is one thing, but they need points here, because you give the ball to Franklin Regional back, they're going to draw down 5 minutes of the clock easily. Just keep running.
Kick from Bain, carries but does not go into the end zone. We'll have a return here. Kenny Lewis takes it inside his own 10, up over the 20, and he'll go no further. He'll get dropped right at the 20-yard line, and so the Gators will have 80 yards to pay dirt. As it looks like on the scoreboard, Penn Trafford has scored a touchdown to leap ahead of Bell Vernon. Take a look at the replay there. 14-13, Penn Trafford over Bell Vernon in that one. We'll try to keep out-of-town scores updated. Big shout-out to the nice facility here at Franklin Regional. They keep them scrolling by on the scoreboard every few minutes. Makes my job a lot easier. I don't have to scroll through Twitter.
Yep. Yeah, it's impressive. I thought, nice scoreboard there. Yeah, you don't see that too often around the WPIAL, giving other scores and giving little sponsors and logos and stuff like that.
Great crowd here on hand tonight. Both fan bases have shown up in full force. Good snap. Burch with time to throw. Now he's going to take off with it. Able to make one defender miss. He'll get out towards the 6. He stood up just shy of the 30-yard line. Looks like they'll mark him down at about the 27. Actually, they'll mark him all the way up to the 29. Nice spot there. Forward progress will make it 2nd and 1.
Good protection for Burch. He had all the time in the world and he decides to take it himself. Nice tackle, though, from Aiden Hudock, but that's positive yards. That's moving the ball. That's what you want. Going to open up the passing a little bit, but you can't. At least you're moving forward on the run.
And again, it's Burch keeping it here, is able to knife away from the first would-be tackler. He'll get up to the 35, needed 1, ended up with 6. That's a first down.
A first down, and we've seen that option play work earlier, the triple option where they got the running back Reynolds in the backfield as well, and then Burch keeping that one, so see if they keep up with that.
Yeah, they'll keep it moving quick, and this one sort of hangs up there. Livesey going to have to go up and try to get it, and that one gets pushed away. Livesey kind of had to play a little defense there to keep that out of the hands of Zach Bazuska.
That's good play from Bazuska, both sides of the field again for the running back, and now the DB plays that one well, staying with that one. Played the ball the whole time, and like you said, Chris Livesey playing as a defensive back there himself to keep that one from not being picked off.
Burch took a bit of a shot there at the end of that one to the midsection. He'll stay in, not playing at 100%, but trying to will this Gators team to another come-from-behind win. He'll go to the air again. He'll go across the middle of the field, and that one behind the receiver. A bit of a miscommunication, and now Burch dumped again. Has to pull himself up off of the turf. His teammates want a roughing the passer penalty. Take a look.
Might have been a little late, but see the hands from number 3, Malachi Moore. They're not on the same page. It's been one of those nights for Gateway. Just frustrating football to watch. Frustrating even on the field for both of them, or for the team, I should say. Another third down, though. Big third down here for Gateway.
Gators were moving the ball on the ground. They've ditched it and gone to the air. So far, no success. They'll have to throw here again on 3rd and long. This one out. Livesey catches it. He's going to be short of the line to gain about a yard or 2, depending on where they spot it. And it will be 4th and 2. And now decision time for Don Hall and the Gators. And it being a 2-score game in the 4th quarter, you'd think this is probably an instance where you keep that offense out on the field. And I don't think Brad Burch is going to pooch punt this one, Spencer.
No, especially not after getting it blocked, definitely. But this is make or break right now for Gateway. You got to go for this.
They'll run it with Reynolds, and Reynolds going to get there. It looks like he's got a first down, and he does. Got that ball across that white stripe at the 45-yard line. And that will be a first down and a big run there for Reynolds. And you see him just sort of fall forward there. Good spot from the officials. And the Gators will keep this offense rolling, and we'll see if time is certainly not their friend, Spencer, but the running game certainly seems to be there if they're willing to stick with this triple option.
No, but the clock does continue to tick, and it's a 2-possession game. You got to score within about 5 minutes left.
Burch going to get rid of this one. Nobody home as he sails that one downfield, takes another hit. Burch getting beat up there in the backfield. He's really hanging on to that ball, trying to extend the play. And got rid of that one at the last moment and just overshot the receiver there, Dallas Harper.
Yeah, delayed blitz from Franklin Regional, and they're making Burch pay. He has taken a lot of shots in this drive, especially. Give him credit for standing in there and taking them, but it's tough. It's tough to get off those accurate passes when you're constantly in fear of getting absolutely walloped in the backfield.
2nd and 10 now from the 45-yard line. Gators trying to get into Panthers territory. Play action fake. They'll fake the screen. Now they'll throw it to Malachi Moore, who's able to get a very moderate gain. Falls forward for about 4 yards. And so it'll be 3rd and long upcoming. 48-yard line. Call it 3rd and 7.
Well played by Burch. Had 2 guys. Will fake out to the left and goes to the right, finds the open man. Burch walking with a little bit of a limp, but still hanging in there in the pocket.
3rd and 7 in what is very much 4-down territory. They'll go to the air. Quick route there. Connection to Dallas Harper. Keeping it simple. Taking what the defense will give them. A quick timing route to the back shoulder and a first down.
Yeah, nice play as you see Harper gets to the first down marker and then turns. Stops, turns, gets that ball, gets out of bounds. Clock stopping.
That's what I was going to say. Even more importantly, gets that clock to stop, gets out of bounds. So it'll be a fresh set of downs at the 41-yard line of the Panthers. Gators in business. Low snap. Burch picks it up. They'll set up the short pass to Harper. Harper in open space. And now he'll get out of bounds. There'll be a holding call there on the outside against Jaquan Reynolds. And that's going to take 10 yards off of what was a great gain. So that'll get them back probably to about the 35, 36-yard line as you see the hold there from Harper, or from Reynolds. And really at that point, Spencer, wasn't really a relevant player to go and hold at that point.
No, yeah, they're going to call that one every single time on Reynolds. It's an obvious hold call. And again, I think the frustration, you're just trying to get those extra yards. You're trying to get that big play to get themselves back into this. And it's plays like that that really kill for Gateway.
So the Gators finally starting to find some traction offensively, but they'll get pushed back to the 45-yard line after the holding call. That'll make it 1st and 15 for the Gators with 8:22 left here. And offsides there as it looked like knifing through. Aiden Hudock just timed that one wrong. So they'll give 5 yards back to the Gators, and it'll effectively be first and now 9 for the Gators at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Franklin Regional needs to clean up these penalties here a little bit. They've got a lot of penalties themselves throughout this entire game. A lot of offsides. I think we've seen at least 3 or 4 offsides on a play that, haven't even started.
Get this one off cleanly, and Burch going to let this one fly. Has an open man, and that's out of bounds. Malachi Moore can't keep his feet in bounds, and Burch just wasn't able to get the zip on that one. Not sure that has anything to do with his current health standing, but couldn't put that one on a rope, and by the time he got some more, he had lost track of where his feet were, and equal parts long throw, receiver that didn't do enough to keep himself in bounds.
Yeah, I will say it's a little bit of both. That throw was taking him out of bounds. You kind of hope, though, that Malachi Moore or Jaquan Reynolds? Malachi Moore?
I believe that was Moore.
Yeah, out there, just kind of hope he keep his feet in.
They'll go to the air once again. That one's tipped, and it's intercepted. Now there is a flag on the play, but it's a holding call against the offense. It is declined, and Franklin Regional may have just made the play that would put this one out of reach. The Gators have 8 minutes left, and they're going to need to turn the Panthers back over if they want to get back in this one.
And it's another errant throw from Burch. He was looking for number 22, Chris Livesey, on the slant route, just right past the line of scrimmage. But there's 4 Franklin Regional players, there are 2 Franklin Regional players and 2 Gateway players. There's just way too much traffic over there. Looked like the Squirrel Hill tunnels in rush hour. I mean, there's nowhere to throw that ball to, and unfortunately it's errant, and when you have a play like that, someone usually can get a hand on it. Franklin Regional does.
Ball got battered around, finally intercepted, and now it's Bazuska who's able to get away from a couple would-be tacklers, but he still stood up behind the line of scrimmage. Gators hoping for a quick 3 and out here. They're going to need that ball back quick.
And the good news is they do have the 3 timeouts. Gateway does, but it's a 2-possession game. I mean, and I almost want to joke and say you don't expect Franklin Regional to throw the ball, not because of the time, but because they really just don't throw the ball. So you're expecting them to just kill this clock as much as they can. Gateway, you hope that for the Gators that they can make a stop here and not force first downs, but they got to tackle Bazuska and they got to tackle their quarterback, Roman Sarnik. The timeout will be taken by Franklin Regional.
So that 14-13 final now. Penn Trafford takes down 3A Power Bell Vernon. Hempfield closes the door on Shaler 48-7, and at last check, not a final score, but Plum well on their way to 1-0 in conference play, 35-13. And boy, wouldn't that be something, Spencer? You drive home tonight with Plum and Franklin Regional in the driver's seat at 1-0. Granted, Penn Trafford hasn't played any games yet in conference play. Neither has Hempfield. It certainly looks like Hempfield is a talented team, but can only win the games that are right there smack dab in front of you. And Plum has been getting it done tonight. Franklin Regional 7 minutes and 14 seconds away from an upset over the #1 ranked team in 5A.
I mean, it's early in conference play, but it's still conference play, and you don't have as many games as you think. The fact that Plum and Franklin Regional will be up in the top of the conference standings. What a world we live in right now here in the WPIALs if that's the case.
Sarnik will shift out. Now a flag comes in.
It's another false start for Franklin Regional. They cannot keep doing this. You're just giving them the door, leaving it open, and somehow losing the key for the lock for Franklin Regional if you're going to try and shut the door on Gateway.
So that'll back it up a bit more. 2nd and 16 now at their own 39-yard line. Out of the shotgun. Sarnik will keep it himself, lower the shoulder. He'll get to what looked like about the 43-yard line before he gets tossed backwards like a rag doll, but not before he inflicted some pain himself. And so that will move it to still 3rd and long, but about 3rd and 11, and the Gators have an opportunity here to try and get Franklin Regional off the field. If they can get a quick score, then you've still got some timeouts in your back pocket to work with to make this a game.
But you need that quick score, and that's the big issue for Gateway right now is Franklin Regional. They're going to kill at least another several seconds off of this clock, and you're probably going to get it down to about 5.5 if you punt, even if you don't get the first down here.
Now the Panthers will take their time. Play clock down to 6, down to 5. They'll snap it with 4. They'll fake the pitch. And now here goes Sarnik, and Sarnik's going to get the first down and more down inside the 35.
I have no words.
The folks here in Murrysville can taste it. That's a big first down because that clock is going to continue to run, and Don Hall's going to have to start thinking about taking some timeouts.
It's 3rd down again, and this is actually really good play calling. You saw several Gateway players going straight for Bazuska. They thought it was going to be him, but Sarnik, who we hadn't heard his name be called for a run play in a while, is able to go up the gut, the right-hand side, and just get that first down, muscles his way through. Sarnik and Pazuska look like they want this win more than Gateway right now, and they are doing everything they can right now to do it.
Fresh set of downs with 5:40 on the clock. Sarnik will keep it again, lower his helmet, get down to about the 31-yard line. And so that will be a gain of 3, and there it is. The Gators will take their first time out. They kind of have to at this point.
Yeah, you definitely have to take one now, and maybe more mentally take a timeout, if anything, especially for Gateway. The alarm should be sounded right now. It's definitely been sounded since the beginning of this 4th quarter. This is rough football for the Gators. You know, give the defense some credit. I will say this: they have, like you've been saying all game, bend but not break. But the problem is, and I made the reference before, when you're folded in half because you keep bending and bending because it's the only thing you're doing right now. The offense isn't doing anything. It's tough to just keep yourself in it mentally and physically. And mentally right now, Gateway is clearly not in it.
When you give up 16 points, right?
Yeah.
Not perfect, but not a crazy high amount with what you anticipated coming into this season being an offense with Jaquan Reynolds, who had nearly 1,000 yards from scrimmage last season and a half a dozen touchdowns. You have Dallas Harper, who's looked like a world beater on both sides of the ball here in the first few weeks of the season. And you've got Brad Burch, a quarterback who, even though he's playing through some stuff tonight, he is a Division I recruit who put up over 30 touchdowns last season. And this offense, through 4 games this season, just has not found that rhythm, that consistency, that chemistry. And unless they find some sort of miraculous comeback here, they're going to have some soul searching to do after their first loss of the season.
And another false start.
And that's got to be one of the things for Gateway that's frustrating as well.
Yeah.
You would think, is that the opportunities have been there. Franklin Regional has played a safe game, but they haven't played a perfect game.
No.
They've been highly penalized. They've turned the ball over. They have not punctuated drives with touchdowns. I mean, if Gateway puts 1 or 2 more scoring drives together, the story of this game is Franklin Regional not being able to finish drives with touchdowns.
Yeah, but Franklin Regional has only had 1 punt this entire evening. And it was a pooch punt.
Sarnik once again with some room to run. He gets upended by Dallas Harper, but not before he gets a good chunk of yardage, and will bring up another 3rd and short. Now the Gators will let this clock run and bank on getting a stop here and getting the ball back. You wonder if this is 4-down territory for Franklin Regional, or if they might try a long field goal. Bain has been excellent. Another field goal would make it a 2-touchdown game as opposed to just needing a touchdown and a field goal to win it. That changes the dynamics of what the Gators have to do drastically. As it is here, it's a 3rd and short. Gators need a stop. Sarnik puts the head down, and it looks like they will get that stop. Clock will stop. We'll see what the spot is. It looks like it'll be 4th down and short. Gators have taken a timeout. So 4:35 left. The Gators get the stop. But Spencer, if I'm Franklin Regional and I need a half a yard with how my team's been running the ball tonight, I'm not so sure I don't do a direct snap to my talented tailback in Bazuska, or if I just keep it in the quarterback's hands and say, hey, Roman Sarnik, senior quarterback, 6'2", $185, go out there and get me a yard.
And honestly, I don't know if they've ever lined up under center, but you need a yard. I wouldn't be surprised if they able just put Sarnik under center and just have him push through. I mean, he's been able to push himself through for a couple more yards earlier, but even then, I think if you stay in the shotgun, I think it's a direct snap to Sarnik, and he just takes it forward and goes for it. I think that's what you're going to do for Franklin Regional. Worst case scenario, you don't get the first. They're deep in their own zone, or deep in their own territory, 4.5 remaining, 2-score game. Franklin Regional they're sitting in the driver's seat right now.
So here it is, folks. This is really your play of the game. 4th and inches. Gators need a stop. Sarnik in the backfield. He'll get it. He'll fake the handoff. He'll move forward, and he will get it. Needed a mere foot or two. Ended up with a gain of about 3 yards. And now it just feels like a matter of time before Franklin Regional hands Gateway a crushing loss to start Big East play.
And Roman Sarnik, coming in 13 for 32, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. You have to wonder if this is designed by head coach for Franklin Regional, Lance Getze. Just keep running the ball. You might not trust Sarnik's arm against the defensive Gateway as a flag on the play. You don't trust the arm of Sarnik necessarily, but he's got 100 yards on the ground last game against Latrobe, and you might as well just keep going, keep pushing. There's a hold on the offense for Franklin Regional. Again, another penalty for Franklin Regional.
Look in the back there, hanging on to Ahmad Harris. That one will get flagged against the Panthers. And so an even brighter spot there. The clock stops momentarily. But we'll resume now as the play clock winds. 17 seconds on the play clock. 3:41 left on the game clock. And unless the Gators are able to produce some sort of turnover and get the other way in a hurry, time is quickly evaporating for any comeback opportunity. Snap was bobbled there a little bit by Sarnik, and he will get swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. As the Gators will take their final timeout here with 3:24. As it'll be second and quite a long ways. Mark it as 22 with the ball at the Gators' 36-yard line. So as we said, the Gators will look to rebound at home against Plum. Plum, at last check, closing out Norwin 42-13. And so that'll be another test next week for the Gators. And then they'll have to head out to Hempfield, which beat Shaler 48-7 tonight. And then Penn Trafford at home, a team that won the state last year and brings back talented quarterback Colin Green. They've certainly looked good early this season. A loss at McKeesport, which is the team they'll play the week after the Gators will. And so, then you end it with Central Catholic, a perennial powerhouse. I mean, there is no rest for the wicked for the Gators. This is a brutal schedule this season.
And with all due respect to Franklin Regional, this was supposed to be the rest for the wicked, and things have spiraled out of control for Gateway. I mean, this is a game that, offensively things haven't worked, and of course, quarterback for Gateway, Burch, injured last week, probably didn't get much snaps in practice and stuff like that. So you're not expecting him to play, but things just aren't working. The something's got to change. You got to adapt with that. You got to work with it. And Franklin Regional, a team defensively that isn't necessarily the greatest, just hasn't done anything other than run the ball and keep Gateway off the field.
Blazewska is dragged down once again behind the line of scrimmage. More than anything, Franklin Regional just trying to hang on to that ball, not make any mistakes, dot the I's, cross the T's. Playing keep away here as the clock will dip under 3 minutes by the time we get this one snapped. Be down close to 2.5, and again, unless some sort of turnover and a miraculous finish happens here, the Gators will drop their first contest of the season and fall to 3-1 and have some evaluating to do heading into another conference matchup. On the other side, Franklin Regional going to move to 2-1, 1-0 in conference play. Blazewska going to take this one forward, finds a little hole, spurts up toward the 30. That'll be 4th down. Gators cannot stop the clock. We'll see the offense likely stay out here for Franklin Regional. Might as well run one more and take the clock down as much as you possibly can. It's going to be about 1:50 when the play clock expires. They will pooch punt it. This one takes
hit a Gateway player. And hit a Gateway player.
And it's still loose.
What's going on?
Dallas Harper didn't fall on it.
Is it a safety? Franklin Regional wants a safety.
I mean, you would think, unless Harper was able to corral it and surrendered himself, which even at that point after hitting a player, Franklin Regional thinks they've put 2 more up on the board. Either way, if you're the Gators, you've got to have some situational awareness. Get that head around. Understand that after the pooch punt, that ball is live and in play, and it definitely hit a Gator. Dallas Harper. I believe that everyone's in agreement that Harper fell on the ball. Now what is the call?
Touchback.
And so that will be a touchback. It'll be a break for the Gators with 1:41 left. Spencer, what do you think?
I mean, I don't know the official rules. I thought it had hit. I mean, I can't say. I thought it hit number 4 for Gateway, Kenny Lewis first, and then bounced back into the end zone. Is that, correct me if I'm wrong, is that not a live ball and that's not in possession for Franklin Regional? Or I should say Franklin Regional was able to jump on it for potentially a touchdown, and then Gateway gets on top of it for a safety. Am I right? I mean, I'm a little confused about this. I don't know if the referees missed it or if...
Either way, it is a break for the Gators, who very easily could have surrendered a touchdown on the muffed punt return, pooch punt return. So as it stands, they'll have 1 minute and 41 seconds to try and salvage what they can from this contest. Burch in the shotgun, low snap, fakes the handoff, spins away, scans downfield, gonna let this one go, and that was caught along the sidelines. A nice grab there from Sherrod. That'll move the ball up to the 31-yard line, and that will be a 1st down for the Gators.
Very nice play from Sherrod, pulling that one in for Gateway. Now getting out of bounds as well, so the clock stops, 1:34, but fortunately for Gateway, it's got to move farther down.
That took just 7 seconds there, but they need a big play and they need it fast. Again, they'll fake. Now Burch going to tuck it and run. He's going to go into the middle of the field. There's no timeouts. He's going to have to get down, and they're going to have to get back to the line of scrimmage. The clock will stop for the chains to reset. Burch went to where there was greenery, but that's going to force the Gators to get the play quickly and keep things moving. They'll get set quickly. Burch going to try and run it again. This time nothing going. That clock going to continue to run. seconds and counting. Gators get set, trips to the left. Low snap. They'll fake the short pass now. Burch just going to throw this to Sherrod, but he's got nothing going. Is Sarna going to get wrapped up there, driven back. And what a statement performance for Franklin Regional, as they have been able to read everything here, and the crowd springs to life because they know just what kind of upset this is tonight.
Yeah, we can feel the floor underneath us rumbling, and it's a huge upset for Franklin Regional. Give the Panthers a lot of credit. They showed up to this game. Low expectations from around the WPIAL. This is expected to be maybe not a blowout, but a game in which Gateway was supposed to pretty much control, and it was Franklin Regional that controlled this game.
Gators need to get set quick, just 30 seconds left. Low snap once again. Play action fake. Burch across the middle, and it's through the hands of Harper, who had his eyes downfield before he had the ball in his hands. And that'll bring up 3rd and 26 with 22 seconds left.
That kind of night for Gateway. As simple as that.
Gators will have some soul searching to do. I cannot imagine that tomorrow morning's film session is going to be one that it is an enjoyable experience for the Gators. This is not the way they wanted to start the conference slate. If you're Franklin Regional, all of a sudden playoffs become something that you might expect. That one up over top, a nice defensive play. That ball was a little high. I don't know that Reynolds was going to get to that one, but Kyle DuPill, a 5'7" sophomore, used every one of those inches to go up and tip that ball away. So now it's 4th and 26, 16 seconds left. Now we'll see, what does Don Hall go into the bag for here on a 4th and 26? Roll out to the right. Burch scans downfield. Just going to heave-ho this one. He has a man there, but it's going to be intercepted. Coming away with it.
And who else? It's number 9, Zach Bazuska for Franklin Regional.
The exclamation point on a complete performance from Franklin Regional. And now one more kneel down will be all that separates them from starting conference play 1-0 in the Big East. And for the Gators, starting with a very, very difficult pill to swallow in this loss. They'll drop to 3-1, 0-1. Take one last look at Burch's last pass of the night.
You see this ball just heaving it downfield, hope for the best, and Bazuska's there. And the Murrysville Eaton Park tonight is going to be bumping. I mean, they're going to be celebrating this one here in Franklin Regional.
The last few seconds tick away. We have 3 zeros on the clock, and this one is in the books. Franklin Regional has pulled the upset, 16-7. Down go the Gators in a performance where the offense just could not get it going. And as Jordan had the opening drive, 63-yard rush, Brad Burch found Leonard Sherrod in the back of the end zone, or in the front of the end zone rather, for a 16-yard connection for 6. But after that, and after the PAT from Cole Plaskin, 27-yard field goal from Bain, an 8-yard run by Bazuska, the only touchdown for the Panthers tonight. That PAT good, made it 10-7, and from there, the Panthers would never trail again. 2 field goals from Bain in the second half, the only scoring we had in quarters 3 and 4. Field goals of 34 and 22 yards, and that is where we leave it off. 4 quarters in the books, the Gators' first loss of the season. Spencer, what are the takeaways here for the Gators? What needs to change moving forward?
I think especially for the game plan for Gateway, they were hoping that Chris Livesey could help them on the quarterback side. You got to think that Burch injured, maybe not practicing much this week, maybe re-aggravated that injury last week as the fans, student section trying to storm the field for Franklin Regional. You can't play like this against the big teams. You can't play like this against Hempfield. You can't play like this against Penn Trafford. It's just a rough night, a two-man show for Franklin Regional. Give the defense for them a little bit of credit and give the offensive line a lot of credit for Franklin Regional. A tough one for Gateway, but it's only one game. You got Plum next week. You got to bounce back if you're Gateway, but much success to Franklin Regional. The Panthers showed up. They had nothing to lose, everything to gain, and they proved they were the better team here tonight. No questions about that. They controlled the tempo. They controlled the ball for a majority. They had a lot of possession. They controlled everything tonight, and they controlled a victory.
And if you're Franklin Regional, manifest destiny. You believe in yourselves. You believe in a team with some seniors at key positions, at quarterback, at receiver. I mean, we didn't really, other than the return game, we didn't hear anything from Aiden Hudock, but he certainly played on defense, played well, and that defense closing the Gators out, holding them to just 7 points.
That offensive line and offense, they had no fear going to this Gateway team that is apparently one of the best defenses in the league, and they didn't do too bad, but offensively for Franklin Regional, they had no fear, and they went into this with a victory.
Well, that'll do it for us here for Gateway Gators Productions. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight, whether it be on the YouTube channel or via the Triv Live High School Sports Network. For our entire crew led by Lee Schaefer, for my broadcast partner Spencer Witt, I am Vince Russo signing off for tonight. Our final score, Franklin Regional 16, Gateway 7. We'll see you next week as the Gators take on the Plum Mustangs here on Gateway Gators Productions.